Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody back once again. It's been a while since I've been here. Who are these
Been a while
guys?
since bloody any of us. All of us are here. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
We're like a big family again.
I am Ronan Fox. We have Paddy Toner. What's happening, Paddy?
That sounded like you're kind of questioning yourself. I am Ronan Fox.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a new. It's a new thing on YouTube. You have to
question everything.
Yeah,
You have to question everything. I'm good. How are you?
Good. Super tired. Work has been absolutely crazy the last couple of weeks, and it's hopefully starting to settle down now a little bit. But yeah, it's been an interesting few weeks. I bought a new car.
Nice.
I wasn't going to get the car that I got, but it ended up, as some cars do, just appearing, and I had to take it. So I got a BMW, kind of a dream car of mine, and I'm just, it's great comfort, and it's an upgrade to the Fiesta.
Nice. We'll
Yeah.
look with it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to getting back to a bit of gaming, to be honest. So what have you guys been at? Let me introduce everyone first, because I just introduced myself and Paddy. Aidan, how you doing, Aidan?
Good. Really enjoying the nice weather.
Yes,
Ireland's
that
a
is
beautiful country.
It is, and now we can go a little bit further, can't we? With restrictions,
Yeah.
loosening.
Yeah.
Donegal's pretty big anyway.
Yeah,
Just hiding there.
Yeah.
There's not enough
Somebody
cops
else
and
actually brought that
people
up.
want to-
What about the people in the small counties?
Like loud.
Are they allowed
Westmead's
to
not
go
that
into
big either, is it?
Laos is basically a town.
Westmead? It's not overly big, but there's enough there's enough around that you can
There's
go for
enough
some
money
nice walks and
It seems big.
yeah. But no, it's grand. It's grand. It's nice that it's opening up. The golf is starting back. I think it's the only sport that's starting back. So we'll go and play some golf next week. Looking forward to that.
Nice.
John,
It was
how you
actually,
doing,
yeah,
buddy?
we made some talk about going to driving range as well.
Oh yeah, go to a driving range. It's really good. It's you'd be tired after it. John Fogarty, too old for gaming. What's happening, buddy?
Not much, dude. I'm doing good. I'm relaxing, all cool. I'm shooting some b-ball outside of the school, etc.
Oh,
How are you meant to stay away from schools?
But you see, there is an issue though. In fairness, there was a couple of guys that were up to no good. Okay, I'm going to stop this right now. No, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
I like it.
I'm
The viewer count is going up, so keep doing what you do.
Same as always, dudes. I'm here. I'm doing stuff. I'm on my course. I'm watching stuff. I'm playing stuff. Nothing new to report really on a week-to-week basis so far.
Sweet.
But all good.
That's good. Good to hear. Good to hear. Pat Curley, what's happening, Pat?
Not too much. Enjoying the weather like Aiden, but through the window because I get sunburnt easily now because the hair is just freaking like
The weather
this
looks good
part
out
here
there.
just looks good. Yeah.
It's sunburned through the window.
It's sunburnt through the winter. Catch fire as well.
That's not good for the house.
Nah, I'm
No.
grand. Cleaning the house, high on pledge. Fun stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, I've been there, brother. Oh.
Watch that pledge.
I know,
get you.
Mr. Muss is the dangerous stuff, though. You had
Oh,
to stay away from
Jesus.
that one.
That'll give you night terrors.
Good to hear, dude. Good to hear you're keeping well, but do get out and get a bit of sun, even if it does burn a little bit. It's important to get out and get that vitamin D, right? Or vitamin C?
Vitamin D.
Vitamin D. There you go.
Okay, I have tablets for that.
Yeah, but you can't
I think they're called vitamin D
natural,
tablets.
El Natural.
I do think the whole country's on vitamin D tablets. I'm also taking them.
I think they're supposed to be. It was come out, and then the scientists put it out this week that 50% of people over the age of 30 are lacking in vitamin D.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in
Uh,
Ireland.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
It came out in Ireland, like so. So get your vitamin D.
The sun is only out
Okay,
20% of the time, so.
I'm under 30, so I'm grand still.
Whoa,
Yeah, no, it's worse for you.
young buck.
I also
I didn't want to bring it up. I didn't want
I
to
also
bring it
think a
up.
couple of months ago it came out that it's one of the best blockers for COVID.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, vitamin D. That's why it
Yeah.
came out like.
So what is it? It's connected with the immune system, right?
It's just a vitamin D is sort of good for your whole your mental well-being and your sort of energy levels. The two things that it helps a lot with.
Important now in this day and age.
Oh, yeah.
It's why it's so hard to get up in the morning during the winter.
Yeah. What about in the summer as well? What do you do for that?
Well, not gonna say that's not true. But it's slightly easier.
So yeah, it's been well. It feels like 2 weeks definitely since I've been on the show. It's definitely good to be back, guys. We are going to go into a new section of the show. We're going to call it tutorial. As Aidan,
A new name for an old section.
yeah, exactly. So it's the start of the show, and we're going to be telling people, recommendations of what we've been watching or what we've been playing. We've turned it a little bit on its head, and we're going to talk about all things entertainment. So, Paddy Toner, what have you been watching, playing?
A bit of Call of Duty at the weekend.
Wow.
I didn't actually get into the. Was it a nuke went off yesterday or something?
Yeah, there's an
See it.
event.
Did any of you watch it? No.
No,
It's
that sounds
random.
interesting.
I think they're wiping the map. Did they get rid of the map, or is that forthcoming? I don't know.
Yeah, I think today you get to play in a nuked version of the map for a day or two, but I think there is a new map coming.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's that kind of midsection, kind of between map changes.
Yeah, they yesterday they had a thing, just like a zombie apocalypse thing, where the whole place has been overrun by zombies. And
Yeah, I kind of watched Nick Marks at it yesterday for a little bit. I wasn't really too
it was,
pushed to
it
get
was,
onto
it was
it.
real cool. It was like as you were playing, you were getting these radio messages. Get to this place, we're going to get everybody out, and they're like, "You're not going to get anyone out in time." But they've launched the nuke, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, the game itself is fun. It's nice, fast-paced, original kind of Call of Duty game. If you want to play it, like it's good to dive in and dive out of these battle royales every now and again. But I was enjoying it at the weekend.
You playing on PC?
No, I'm playing on the PlayStation.
Nice.
Couch gaming, TV gaming. It's easy to just sit on the couch and play it on the weekend rather than sitting here at the desk.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah,
And it's hard in the old PC too. Well, it's not too bad if you're not trying to stream it, I think, but it can be hard in the old PC anyway. Streamlabs and stuff can be hard in the processors and that. But I suppose I don't stream it anymore.
A lot of people have dual setups for that game.
Yeah,
They'll
you
have,
do
like,
need dual setup. Same as Apex and stuff like that. The camera's a little bit off. You resize the.
In terms of what? Oh, okay. Squeeze it in a little bit.
Yeah. No, just
squares are in.
Resize it to what it was.
Make us tenor.
Sorry,
Just when I'm
guys.
watching it. New map. Aaron says a new map is today. I'd be interested to see. I feel like these battle royals, when they change map, a lot of players fall off it. It seemed to happen with Apex, and it seemed to happen with Fortnite. Anyway, I don't think
as
it's
well. I don't think people fell off, but that snow map I think is when I think there was other factors, but I remember when that snow map came out was when people started to dip off PUBG as well.
Yeah,
I do think Warzone will be okay for it. There's been a lot of complaints recently about the map getting stale.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people complain that, and then they don't. Then they're annoyed then when it actually happens.
Yeah, they want the old map back.
They want the old map back. Same as Fortnite. Everyone was out with new map, and then afterwards like, oh no, do you remember when it used to look like this? Same guys. Same guys are asking for the change.
Yeah, it's a hard crowd to please, isn't it?
It is. I suppose it's like that with everything.
We're a finicky bunch, gamers.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's going to be awesome. Yeah,
So
kept up to date with it. It's pretty good so far.
I think I'm on episode 5 now at the moment.
Yeah, that's the last episode.
Oh, that's the last one. Nice.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah. No, it's a decent show. If you haven't watched it, watch it. And you haven't watched WandaVision, watch that too.
Yeah, it's definitely more along the superhero side of things, but I do like the way they're gone rogue nearly and doing their own thing. It's pretty interesting.
It feels like Captain America 2 in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I've grown a lot of respect for Falcon especially, but Bucky is very good in it.
Yeah, Bucky's very good. The
Zemo. I think Zemo is very good in it as well.
Yeah,
Zemo's been a star.
Yeah.
Brendan, we're here too, you know. You don't have to say hello to John and Ronan. What about us, Brendan?
Hi.
What about us?
Hey, buddy.
Hey.
I know Phoenix is upset that my Fiesta is gone, but I have to say my Fiesta is still at the side of the house, and there is hope for it. My uncle is taking it away on Saturday to try and get it sorted for me, and it's going to end its life on Mondello Park. I promise you. That's just the only end that I can give to that car. So it'll be. I'll take it. I'll do like a video blog of it. It'll be interesting.
Nice.
Class. Get some GoPros and get like multiple angles.
An interesting thing, I'll talk a little bit about it after, but Mondello Park was released for free for Assetto Corsa this week by Digital Motorsport, the Irish Motorsport Association. And, yeah, I've been playing it like all week. Yeah, it's really good because like we talked a little bit about it before. Now, if I go to Mondello to race on it, I know the turns. Like obviously it's not true to life, but you still get to know where to hit the apexes and really good. It's actually quite a technical track in terms of the amount of turns in it, and it's it's very good. It's very well detailed as a mod on Assetto Corsa. Aidan, what have you been playing or watching recently?
I'm always playing some Japanese game. I'm not going to talk about that. The game I've been playing a lot of is a game called Loop Hero. I don't know if anyone's heard or seen anything about
fantastic game. I know it's a game I'm surprised I haven't played more of. It's like it's just you work away. I'm not going to steal your thunder there.
I'll take this over.
It might be the most genres I've ever seen in one game. So it's a roguelike, city building, deck building, RPG idle game.
And auto battler.
Yeah, that's an idle game is.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a weird game. It's really good. So the whole idea is your character wakes up and the world doesn't exist, but you can kind of remember things. So a loop gets drawn on the screen and you start walking around this loop, and you'll fight a monster. And as you kill the monster, you'll pick up a card, either equipment cards or environment cards. So environment cards can be like forests, mountains, a cemetery, a vampire mansion. And when you place them down, the whole idea is this is your character remembering this aspect of the world they were in. And every card gives a different sort of ability. Mountains, as you place them, increase your max HP. Forests, increase your attack speed. Deserts, decrease the health of monsters. So, and things like you place a cemetery down, it'll spawn a skeleton every 2 days. You kill a skeleton, they give you better rewards. And every time you hit the loop, the monsters get harder. And every time you kill something, you pick up a resource. So at the end of a loop, you can choose to exit on any of your loops and take all of your stuff with you. If you're midway through a loop and you leave, you get 60% of your stuff. And if you die, you only take 30% of your stuff back. And then you go back to the city, which is literally, as you bring back your resources, you start to remember things like a butcher's or a gym or an armory. And as you unlock these, it gives you new bonuses for your loops and also new cards to be put into your deck. And while you're going through the loop as well, there's a bar building with every card you place. And when you place the card, the last card, a boss spawned. And when you go back to the end of the loop, you can either end your game there or try to fight the boss. Bosses are very difficult. And if you beat the boss, you get more on the story and you unlock the next act. I'm on Act 3. I've beaten 2 of the bosses. And the game's tough.
Yeah.
It's just, but it's so deep. There's really cool synergies. Like if you place there's river cards. If you place the rivers along forest cards, it makes the forest the abilities twice as much. So there's a real deepness to where you place everything as you build the map around your loop, and trying to place the enemy spawning squares in such a way that gives you enough enemies to gain more gear, but not too many enemies that you can die. And I find the gameplay and just the loop of it all incredibly fun, incredibly rewarding. And it's the sort of game you can sit down and play for 10 minutes, you can sit down and play for 6-7 hours. And I've just been really, really enjoying it. If anybody, it's only out on PC so far. If anybody sort of likes anything they hear there, I'd highly recommend it.
What's the name of this game called?
Loop Hero.
Loop Hero. Okay.
Yeah. What I like about it as well is that like it looks like it's such like an old school and simple looking game.
Oh, yeah.
But the mechanics behind it is just like it's kind of a game where if you watch someone play it, you could actually be like, I have no idea what's happening here. But when you start playing it and you get into the mechanics and like you understand just how much is in it, it's a lot of fun. I only played a little bit of it. I'm gonna have to get back into it. I watched a lot of it. Again, the YouTuber I talked about last weekend, Northern Line, he played a nice bit of it. So I actually saw a nice bit of it just watching someone play it.
The synergies of cards, I think, is some of the most interesting stuff. Like there's a village card. When you place the village card, if you walk over the village piece, it gives you a health recovery boost and gives you a quest. That quest puts like a crown on one of the enemies on the loop, and if you kill that enemy, you get more gear. If you put down a vampire mansion beside the town becomes a ransacked town that summons zombies and vampires. And if you can survive, they summons 5 creatures to a square, and them squares become really difficult. But if you can survive around 3 loops of that, it goes back to being an even better town with better effects. And I just find there's so many things have like little synergies, and the more you get into it, the more deep it becomes. It's all sprite art, and it's actually really nice looking. Like it's a really unusual style, and there's some nice music. The game's only like 300 megabytes or something. It's tiny.
It's always good in
but
this day and age.
It's such an unusual thing of a game. It's very impressive.
It's Devolver, right?
It is one
Oh,
Devolver publisher.
Great developers.
Yeah.
Great developers.
But yeah, highly recommend.
Brilliant. John Fogarty.
Hello.
Hello. Good sir.
I've been playing, like, I haven't been playing too much this weekend. I haven't really watched that new. Like, you touched upon it already. Like, Friday is my day of watching my new stuff. It's Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Invincible. So I watch both of them when they come out on a Friday. I talked about Invincible last week. You've talked about it on the Is This Canon? Is That Canon podcast that you have? Make sure you check that out as well, by the way.
Shameless plug.
But so I won't talk about that here because I talked about it last week. But what I did play was an old friend that has helped me a lot through the pandemic as well, and it was the same circumstances as usual. Myself and the lads on a Saturday have gone back with the new airship. We've gone back playing a bit of Among Us, and it's just what I like about it. Like it's I know Among Us has become a little bit of a meme recently. There's the Among Us meme, and the fact that everybody is sick of hearing about people talking about Among Us because it took over everything for about 3 or 4 months. But it is still a solid game. It's especially like I wouldn't touch public games because doing the text instead of talking with someone, just you never know who you're in with. You could be in with trolls, you could be in with people cheating. You don't know. So it's kind of a game that I feel like you have to be in a party with people that you know, or these people that you trust at least, not to be cheating and stuff like that. But when you get that good dynamic going, it's so much fun.
Cheat.
Oh, people have hacks, dude. People hack that game. It's so stupid. Like
Definitely fitters out there.
Like legitimately, like people have hacks for like.
You can't have these things, John.
I can't.
have these things.
I have no cooldown. So we start a new round. Children who think it's cool that you can kill people every 2 seconds. You know what I mean? It's literally children that are doing it. So you can understand it in that regard. But no, but what I love about it is that it was such a simple game. The fact that it was free on mobile and had cross-play with PC, if he wants to play with PC, is that I got to play with friends. It was something that we could play. A reason to Zoom that wasn't a freaking table quiz or something. You know what I mean? So that we could do as an activity.
Paddy knows all about the table quizzes.
Oh, he does.
Every Friday.
Yeah.
And it was and it's so accessible that like it's literally, hey, download this free app on your phone and we can play a game together. That like lads that I know that don't play video games anymore, like probably used to, but like don't really anymore. They're all just in here playing Among Us.
Losers.
Losers.
Nerds.
And it's been great fun, and like it's just something to do, and it really has been a highlight of a Saturday. And the new airship map is a lot of fun. It's really complex when you don't know what's going on. It's definitely it's like one of the biggest maps, and it's one of the most complex maps. Like there's new mechanics, like you have to go up and down ladders. There's literally like the electricity section in the middle is like a maze with doors that won't open. So it's like if you don't know where you're going, you could be lost in there for like a good 2 or 3 minutes, get murdered in there. Nobody will ever find you if nobody knows what's going on. It's just really good. And it's just what I love about it is just the fact that it can bring people together, and it's just such an easily accessible game during the pandemic. I expect some more content of it on the thing when I get around to actually editing it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pat Crowley, what have you been playing or watching?
What I've been playing is Genshin Impact. It's taken over.
Is this mobile game that we talked about recently?
Yeah, but you can play it on PlayStation
everything out of your wallet.
Switch.
Laughs at you.
But yeah, there's sometimes I did want to spend money, but I refuse.
Come back to us,
money.
Pat. Don't get lost.
How the Fed gets
No.
You know in South Park, change. So what's it like?
I know,
it's obviously good.
Oh, it's It's fantastic. Oh, it's sexy. It's everything I
here
want
we
in
go
a
again.
game.
Reel it in there, Pat. Reel it in.
Quintessential
Do
pack.
you know what?
game.
I love the way you're just wearing it on your sleeve. I love it. You
It's-
describe it
it's-
whatever way you want, Pat.
Oh, it's just beautiful. I love this game
Keep it
so
PC,
much.
okay?
Damn it! No, it's a brilliant game. The open world is surprisingly big. I wasn't expecting it to be as big as it was for like also being a mobile game as well. I was expecting it to be relatively small, but like this is a massive open world, and I guess the biggest resemblance would probably be to Breath of the Wild, Zelda, and
What mobile do you
Big
have?
comparison, isn't it?
well, I'm mobile. I don't know, a decent one.
iPhone 13.
Questioning
It's
yourself.
Well, it's like what's it called? It's like
3210.
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Huawei.
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 Huawei. But like I haven't played it on my phone. I've been playing it on the PS5. It's just oh man, it's just like there's moments where I'm just actually stopping and standing and looking at the colors on the screen because it's a beautifully colored game. It has the same sort of cell shaded art style as Breath of the Wild, and there's just something about it. And even like the technical difficulties where like as you're coming close to something and it's starting to render, somehow that looks like it's like things in motion. Like with trees, it looks like the trees in motion as it renders, which is a really cool side effect to rendering that I've never seen in a game before. And it's just little things that I appreciate. The game like is super fun to play with its combat and everything, with having different styles like the light sword, a heavy sword, magic, and spear and bow and arrow. But yeah, it's just such an incredible game. Loads of great boss fights, loads of enemies to kill, loads of plants to pick, loads of picking plants. Killing this little kid who loves. There's these birds on a bridge, and this kid loves these birds, and I love killing these birds, and he just like depressing him slightly. But
Nice guy.
this guy.
Yeah, all the NPCs actually have like pretty good dialogue.
Yeah,
Which is
and like there's actually surprising amount of depth to each character as when you play with them, and you can gain experience outside of level, but like it's like friendship. And each friendship level you go up in, you get more sort of details about this character, and like it's like pretty deep. And then you have conversations as well, like recorded dialogue between characters as well, with that as well. So it's like it's really complex for a game that's free, and like I'd recommend anyone to pick it up. Like,
So if you were to spend, like, I'm just trying to think, if you were to spend what 50 hours playing this game, would you put 50 quid into it, or is that too much? Have you put any money into it? No, you can tell us.
No, I haven't. Not
Okay.
at all, because I don't have money, Ronan.
Okay, fair enough. Like what?
Much you don't have.
Like, can you just throw in a tenner and then like you'll get a lucky dip and maybe get a good weapon? Is that the way this works? Like, how do they make so much money?
They have a starter pack for a tenner, but yeah, honestly, for the first 50, 60 hours, there's no need to spend any money.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, you don't.
So
really
it's free
need
to play
spend
on
money. Like
mobile.
this-
You can just go and pick it up now, have a blast with it.
Yeah, you can pick it up on your PS4 or PS5 either. It's
Oh, wow.
just I'd say
Or
it
PC.
struggles on mobile.
Is it a case
Or
that you
doesn't.
can you play like, is it
Oh,
multiplayer?
Jesus, that's impressive.
Can you play like with a couple of people? Or?
Yeah, you could play 4-player maximum.
And can you is
Like,
that like
have
you
a
just
party
go
of
and do
4,
the
so you have
story
4
mode
characters at a
with,
time.
with 4 guys?
You can't do story mode. It's more so like you could go around the map, do side
Yeah.
quests, or you could just go and
Help
fight
each
all
other
the
out.
boss battles.
Would
Nice.
these games be working off a server? That's the way they work
Yeah.
off mobile. That's probably how it works.
Yeah.
Be
And
go well on
that
it.
is the one
Ed,
thing
just
I
check
actually...
your mic when you're not talking there. You might be plugged into your headset on your head.
I shouldn't be.
No, I think the mic has just been acting up or something like that.
Okay, that's all right.
But,
No, that's
yeah,
that's
one
good.
thing
It's
that
free to play.
One thing that I actually wish they would implement is that you could just play offline, like just get like not even have the store there, just like if you could just play it offline, because this game could be perfectly played offline. like sometimes since my internet does go low, it will affect the gameplay. And like when I press my button, I have to wait several seconds for my attacks to come in. Or here, don't make this dirty now, Paddy.
Only Pat can do that, Paddy.
Yeah, only Pat can do that.
But like, because of the internet, like I can be walloping this poor fella like senselessly, and his health just won't go down, and like you feel like you're picking on him. And
Paddy,
like,
I never laugh until I look at you, and it was twice in a row.
I know, but like he's just everything's an innuendo with Pat. Everything he's talking about. There's some sexy walloping going on. I tell you that. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I'm not sure whether he means it or messing, like, or
no.
I
went it.
Oh, genuinely, I think it's so funny because I don't think it means it.
Your mic is worse now.
You've gone really loud, like you've gone like super loud.
But it is actually kind of frustrating when you're hitting an enemy for like 6 minutes, and then suddenly his health bar decides to go down after, like, you know,
he's finished.
He was dead probably like, you know, 20 seconds in, but like it didn't register because my internet was so slow, and that's fine and all. But when you face a big group of monsters, and they just don't have their health go down, you find yourself in a very precarious situation because they can still hurt you, even though they should be dead. So, yeah, it's a shame that you just can't play it offline. But brilliant game. I've been addicted. I probably put more hours into it, but you have to get to certain ranks to progress the story. And there's only so much experience you can get in one day unless you just seriously want to grind. So, yeah, it's a brilliant game.
Check it out.
Everyone should go play it.
The only game that I'm going to mention, guys, in my recommendations, and it's quite an old game, it's called A Way Out. I played it this week with a good friend of mine. I think the game is only about 7 hours long, and we're about halfway through.
I finished it before as well.
How did you find it, Paddy? I'm really liking it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was very good. I think I finished it with my uncle Kevin at the time, but that was like when it came out. And it's very good. It's good to sit down and have a chat with someone and play the game.
Exactly. And make decisions like which are like, it's just, it reminds me a little bit of the old school, like, and I think that's what it's going for, the old school kind of couch gaming. And
co-op.
Yeah, what's really interesting is I thought the two, you know, seeing the split screen would kind of put you off a little bit, but you're actually as interested in the other character as you are your own, like, and it'll cut. I think
it's because you're working together as well, and it does matter what the other person's doing on the screen as well, and what they're doing the exact same time as you, kind of thing. Like,
there'll be a part where one of the guys will be getting attacked, and there's a bit of a panicky moment where you have to get down before he's killed, and it's. I'm enjoying it now. I have to say, I'm playing it with a work friend called Damien, and we're loving it now at the moment. And
during work.
During work? No, not during work anyway. I wish.
He wouldn't have made anyway, lads. He wouldn't have made anyway.
I'd never done that before, right?
No.
Anyways, we're playing through that. We've gone through a couple of hours. Really, really enjoying it. I definitely recommend picking it up. Only one of you have to buy it, and then the other person can download the Friends Pass. And also, It Takes Two. I have that as well, ready to play. It's the same developers, Hazelight Studios. It's one of the indie kind of style EA studios. And they have just been making really interesting games.
Is that an over-the-top shooter or a third-person shooter that Takes Two? No,
it's basically sort of a platform animated kind of platform game. Yeah,
same idea, right? Two players side by side. Yeah, you're both doing stuff in the world together.
Meant to be quite emotional, actually, for a game that's kind of animated, and the story's meant to be very emotional. That's one thing I found about A Way Out. The story is better than I expected. And they had a game previous to this which was called Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Did anyone play that? No,
I don't know. If it did,
I know it though, and I know it's got pretty much kind of similar mechanics.
But instead of two players, there is two players on screen, and you're using one analog stick controls one player, and the other controls the other. So you're doing kind of teamwork using the two analog sticks. Really interesting.
Bloodborne in one hand with two people. Remember?
Yeah, do you remember that? Yeah.
Same thing.
Tandem Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Oh, have you ever seen the guys who?
Mike is spot on there, Ed.
Good. There's guys who do blindfolded tag team punch out speed runs.
Nice.
And it's so impressive.
Brilliant.
Blindfolded ending is good.
Blindfolded punch out, and they both one guy uses the direction, the other guy uses A and B. They take turns of pressing start to do the uppercut.
We will move on to news, guys. A little bit to get through. So, first of all, we have Cyberpunk 2077 is CD Projekt Red's biggest game ever, despite its disastrous launch. According to CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 2077 is their biggest game to date. The game sold 13.7 million copies in 2020, and just one day after launch, they recouped the game's development and marketing costs despite being an absolute mess at launch. Is that true?
Yeah, I hope they're hiring a lot more developers for their next project.
I think it's the modern age of the way you sell things is hyping the shit out of it.
Yeah.
It's
Doesn't matter
trending
if it's
hype.
good.
And they had 7 years of hype.
Exactly. We've been
Yeah.
all in this talk about this game for years and years and years to come. And,
But that's sorry.
go on, but or John.
I was going to say, like, what I'm agreeing with you saying, like, it's saying 13.7 million copies. It's just one day after the launch, so it's just complete. It's pre-orders and first day hype. Like that's
Many of those were
One day
returned.
after launch was when they recouped the cost of development.
But
That
the
wasn't
way
13.7.
this article was written, though, is 27 CD Projekt Red's biggest game ever. It didn't say it's the biggest game in sales. It didn't say, altogether, because there was another part there, was something, The Witcher or something, what was it, 30 million copies or something?
Yeah, that's why it's the biggest. It
Yeah.
took over Witcher's sales
Yeah.
volume.
But 13 point, I don't think it has. 13.7 is not the biggest. It's just the way it rolled. I wasn't even sure if it meant the biggest sales or the biggest what, or the biggest
it's
hype
biggest-
train or the
like
biggest.
big unit sales.
But like it was hyped up. I don't know. It's like, still not back in the PlayStation Store.
Yeah, I wonder. The one number I'd love to know is how many people got a refund on PlayStation.
Well, here's one anyway.
Yeah, I would
Did you get a
love
refund?
to
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
I'm too Irish to do that.
I couldn't.
I'm too
I
Irish
was
to-
like, I'm not doing this. Like, I spent my hard-earned cash for this game that's just horribly broken, and I wouldn't usually, I kind of hold it out, and I was like, do you know what? No, not doing it. And they refunded me. I got an email back to say your funds are refunded, and then after that happened, Sony stripped it off the store.
just in time.
It was a disgrace. Like the launch of it was a disgrace. Let's be honest.
I agree.
Yeah.
It was.
Well, I will
it
say
destroyed that company's reputation without a shadow of a doubt.
the funny thing is, Ronan, as well, and that is the complete valid point. But like, I had the PC version, and I didn't really play it till after the massive day one patch. But I should have got the refund because I was enjoying it while I was playing it, and I had very few bugs. I had a few, but I had very few bugs on PC. But I just lost luster with that game. I only got probably about a third of the way through it. I just stopped playing it, and I haven't played it since. And I'm more than likely never going to play it again.
Became overly repetitive and boring.
It's just
For
games
me, it
these days,
wasn't.
dude. Sorry.
Just what?
What?
It's just most games these days, dude.
Yeah, but that one just
We're all
was
the same.
literally, you've played that game before in all the other games that you played previously that are anyway similar to that game. Like, if you compare that to the likes of Deus Ex, Deus Ex is a masterful game
It's
compared
better
to,
game.
No, there's
compared
no
to
comparison.
Cyberpunk. And
No-
that
no
was
comparison.
like, Cyberpunk was meant to be the next version of that style of game, and it really wasn't. Like, to play a game in a Cyberpunk world, you have to go back and play it, Deus Ex or Deus Ex, whichever way you want to say it. Like, those games are brilliant, and I just thought Cyberpunk, it just tried to be all to everyone, and it just ended up being nothing.
I think it just overreached.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
overreached.
definitely
Exactly
overreached,
what
yeah.
happened, Paddy.
Yeah.
I do hope they come back to another Witcher style game, or another not even Witcher, but try, I don't mind them trying something new, but try something that's not as, it's not going to stretch them as much.
I think they might
as
have another
Cyberpunk.
shot at it with the PlayStation 5 launch.
Possibly.
I think they would,
Possibly.
Sony might put it back on just for the PlayStation 5 launch, and it could just hype it up again and see what happens.
Yeah, we all know games can recoup and come
Yeah,
back
most of them
stronger
have.
than ever. So,
I-
What we talk about the end of the show.
yeah,
100% believe that Cyberpunk will turn good by the end.
There's too much money
But
in it for
they've
it to
got a
not.
studio.
How
good
far
enough
is
to
that
They-
end away?
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
really, their next game has to be just basically an apology for them to get over that.
Yeah.
Or just free money.
Free money is
That's
great.
always good.
I do
Always
like
works.
free money.
Who doesn't like free money? Pat, we'll get you some free money.
There you go.
Don't give them
Yay!
that. Just spend it on getting them back.
So I'm sure that game is going to come up again in the show when we talk about our topic of the week, but we'll move on to an interesting piece of news from Sony. So Sony is testing a PlayStation video streaming service in Poland. Speaking of CD Projekt Red, they're from Poland as well, aren't they? Following
Yes.
a leak yesterday, Sony confirmed that it is testing out a service called PlayStation Plus Video Pass with a 1-year trial in Poland that will allow subscribers to stream movies and TV shows as the company looks at ways to expand its online subscription. Speaking with Polish website Spider's Web, Sony Interactive Entertainment's global service vice president Nick Maguire said that the service would be a streaming app available to PS4 and PS5 owners with an active PS Plus subscription at no additional cost, which is really interesting.
Yeah, that's fine.
The service will include 15 movies and 6 TV shows owned by Sony Pictures, with
Spider-Man.
more on the way
Spider-Man.
every 3 months
Spider-Man.
until the trial
Venom.
concludes. Yeah, but this is interesting, guys, because I know, like, we've seen a couple of games that are kind of turning into movies, and like, what better place to have them than on the PlayStation, ready to rock.
15 movies and 6 TV shows is embarrassing, mind you.
But,
Yeah, I'll have to
Well,
start
it is
somewhere.
just a trial, though.
but why? How is
Yeah.
that embarrassing?
I just it's very considering the other video streaming platforms out there, it's a very small number.
But this is going to be free, and it's obviously
With
the start of
PlayStation
it.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if these are 15 movies
just
that are based on video games.
just reading 15 movies and 6
I know, yeah, that's
made
true.
me laugh.
That's
It's
fair
free.
enough.
It's free with PlayStation Plus.
But if
obviously.
we were
You still
talking
have
like
to-
this is €10 a month, then we're talking about Google Stadia kind of carry
Yeah,
on.
but
Where this is free.
As a
it's nice.
free edition and a place to get like all the Spider-Man stuff they have, and
Yeah.
presumably the Last of Us show and probably Horizon show that's going
God,
to
we're barred with subscriptions.
I
these
was
days,
I
aren't we?
was I was reading today though. I don't know how true it is, but I was reading today that Disney and Sony are close to striking a deal for the Spider-Man movies to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
did see
think
that
that's
as
already
well.
gone through.
Yeah, there you go. So that's
I think that deal was.
gonna...
I think that was a part of the deal that brought Marvel in as producers.
Oh, brilliant.
But it'll go on to
Far as I
Netflix
know.
first, I think. Onto Netflix and then onto Disney or something like that.
McGuire says that the company decided to hold a test in
Oh,
Poland
wee.
based on specific data, noting the test will allow Sony to see which titles are most watched and how often PS Plus subscribers use the service. Though the executive did not comment on whether the service would roll out in other regions. So obviously they're just testing it, see how it goes, and if things work out, we'll
Sure.
end up seeing it at
I
some
wonder why
stage.
Poland.
Anything,
They love
random.
Sony movies
Poland.
there. They love
Yeah.
Sony movies there.
Yeah.
Love them.
anything that adds to PlayStation Plus, I think is good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this on the fact that Sony now owns Funimation and Crunchyroll. So
Yeah.
the fact is that like if this goes well, there's a possibility that maybe
God, they bought all
maybe
the anime.
they could squeeze Funimation and Crunchyroll into the PlayStation Plus subscription.
Crunchyroll
which
is on the PlayStation
would make me so happy.
already, isn't it? As an app.
Yeah,
It
but
is.
you have to
download.
go get your subscription yourself.
Yeah, so that could be something they
Like
could
the
add.
subscription won't be included.
Like from what I see
yes,
here,
but since they
is-
own it, they could.
No, work away, Pat.
But since they own it, I could see them really jumping on that, and like they'd have probably the best place then to watch anime.
Yeah.
Because Funimation and Crunchyroll would probably be the two biggest streaming sites for it.
What
Yeah,
I
And
what
like,
I see
it
this
is
for
getting
is
popular.
the likes of the Uncharted movies. Surely this is a place for them to
Yeah,
put, and the Last of Us
100%.
movie, stuff like that.
And the Godzilla movie.
and the Knack movie.
Yeah,
The Knack movie, yeah.
and the Ratchet and Clank movie. That's
There you go.
exists.
Oh, that movie was so depressing.
It's
So
really
romantic.
bad.
It'd be kind of a,
It had
I
some
don't know if
good
it'd be a good
moments.
deal. Oh, I suppose if it's new, if it's free, it wouldn't be too bad. But like, you could be missing out a lot of Netflix money there if you didn't sell the rights to Netflix or Disney that are kind of established companies that you'd probably make a lot more money out of.
Everyone's trying to own a
Sony
streaming service
is-
now, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think
like,
Sony
like
sees
lot
the
of-
writing on the wall.
yeah, but that's the problem as well.
There was a
So many
comment made
subscription
this week about
services and
that.
stuff. You end up, oh, this is only a $5, this is only a $10, this is only 20. By the end of the month, no
Oh
money.
yeah.
There's no money because you're
Yeah,
subscribed.
yeah.
bloody
I
ever.
had to actually do just a phase out.
Purge.
Seriously, like
a lot.
I
It's
was
so-
spending the guts of €70 on like services that I wasn't
It's so easy
using.
just to click and just, oh, it's only a tenner. Oh,
They're
it's only-
rookie numbers.
I know they are, okay, but when you start having to save for a mortgage, you're kind of like, right, where can I get mean here? And then you're like, I wasn't spending 70 on services that I'm not using.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all good though. But definitely do a purge, guys, because you're definitely signed up to something there that you just don't have a clue.
I was signed up to an XSplit green screen program.
Oh, here, listen, I'm probably signed up to that thing.
I used once.
That was terrible.
It was awful. It never worked.
Yeah.
It is annoying the way everything's gone subscription. Even like Adobe and stuff like that, you can't just buy the program on
It's for the exact reason Ronan has said. It's because people sign up and then they forget they have it.
About it. Yeah.
It's a lot more money.
Easy money, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's where they make most of their money.
You hate Adobe. Why?
Fucking hate Adobe. Like, listen, I probably could have bought that program like years ago. Like like I'm buying Premiere Pro every month. It's like 25 quid.
Say you're a student.
It's
yeah,
a
cheaper.
bit expensive. Yeah, but student cards out of date now. I can't.
Don't tell me I didn't have to give a student card. I am. But anyway, but something like you told me just pretend, but don't tell
No,
me.
you need your details. You need to check the details.
Telling
Dennis.
everyone.
You don't.
I might just turn to it.
Criminal.
Just get like.
I
Oh,
already
try
paid
it,
enough.
I'm a
I
student, but I will download it
put
illegally.
enough money.
It was resting in my account.
I put enough money into Premiere Pro already.
I still have like the CS5 suite that I use if I need any of those programs.
Like, let's be fair, lads. It is the top of the top. Like, it's the cream of the crop. Like, Photoshop is used every single day. Premiere Pro is used every single day.
I use
Where do they have in them
yeah.
that Premiere thing? There's about 20, 30 apps. It's like, what the fuck is all this for?
Oh,
After Effects.
There's loads of them. It's
the
like,
Cloud
Jesus.
Center or whatever it is.
Yeah, like,
Like
there's loads and
every
loads of them.
program, every program is like €25 a month. So if you
This
just
one gives
want
you
2
skin
programs,
grafts.
that's €50 a month. It adds up pretty quickly. It's
Not
very
just only spending
expensive.
€50 a month.
Yeah.
The suite used to be $2.5 grand.
Oof.
A month?
No, like I could buy it.
I wouldn't label for it now. I tell you,
You
one
know,
month
if
if you
you're
don't.
I'm
signed
going
up
to
to
be
that
an
one.
editor.
I'll pay you next year sometime or the year after. That's a
So,
long time.
Epic are expanding their Windows app to carry apps like... Sorry. Epic Game Store is expanding their app to carry the likes of Brave and Discord. Epic is adding 5 new PC apps to its Epic Game Store launcher today in a fresh bid to
Aiden's
offer
happy,
more
Aiden's
than
happy.
just games. Yeah. Indie game store itch.io is arriving on Epic Game Store today alongside open source browser Brave, streaming radio app iHeartRadio, 3D model tool KenShape, and open source painting app Krita. These are Epic Game Store's first new PCs apps since Spotify launch in December. Guys, those apps seem like they're pretty decent.
Oh yeah,
Brave, anyway.
Brave's great.
What is Brave?
What is Brave?
Brave is a open source browser that this is really good. It has a built-in ad blocker.
Doesn't hog your RAM like...
It's way
Google.
less RAM intensive than Google. It's pretty good. I use most of these programs.
What's
Well,
Ken
He's
Shape?
not cooking the shit out of you.
I'm assuming the 3D model tool KenShape is something along the lines of Blender or something like that you could make like 3D assets.
Yes.
For like the Epic. I know this is on the Epic store, but then obviously you'd have the Epic game designer as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Probably
Yeah.
yeah. They're probably in.
When we were talking with Discord as well, they've fallen out of talks with Microsoft. They're not
I've
buying them
seen
anymore.
that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That
Yeah,
felt
I
Not enough
wonder
money.
if this is a build to an eventual Epic's going to try and make a operating system.
They're probably going to try their hand at everything.
Yeah.
When I see this, when I'm like they're trying to get an out library of apps, I'm like, if I was going to make a competing operating system, this is what I would start with to make sure you have the programs whenever if you were trying to do it.
So
Yeah.
does
That's what
this
Steam-
mean like Discord is going to Epic rather than Microsoft, or is this just something that is a bit of a coincidence?
This is just you can install the Discord app through the Epic.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think this Discord is still independent, but they're
Yeah.
you can use it on.
That's handy though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I always look back at when Steam launched Steam OS, and they just didn't have app support for things that wasn't Steam.
Discord is on Xbox now, isn't it?
No.
No.
Did that not come out a few weeks ago?
I couldn't tell you. I don't have an
I'm
Xbox
very
anymore.
sure. I think that was in the news a few weeks ago.
You can open Discord through the web browser and log in and use it that way, like for a very limited extent on the Xbox.
All right. No, I thought it was something
Right.
else. I thought it was maybe the deal
Still can be
fell
done.
through.
It is good that it's getting all this stuff. Like, bigger is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just more competition, isn't
Yeah.
it? Epic Games is promising to add more PC apps in the future, including communication app Discord. There's even a new section in Epic Games Store dedicated to PC apps, so it's clear Epic has ambitions to run its own Windows store here. That's not entirely surprising, as Epic CEO Tim Sweeney has long called for open app models and stores on Windows. Microsoft's own Windows Store has failed to become a popular location for the vast amount of window apps and games.
Because
and
it's
popular
bad.
apps like Adobe Creative Suite, Chrome, Discord, and Zoom aren't even the Windows App Store aren't even on. The Windows App Store, guys, it's a tough one.
Train wreck.
It's a tough one to get through. I had to download Forza Horizon on it before Xbox Game Pass, and you don't know whether you're downloading it, whether you've picked the right thing. It's impossible to download DLC.
And then it randomly crashes, and there's nothing you can do about it unless you use the command line for it to recache. Oh, it's an absolute train wreck.
It's I knew it was a train wreck, but I never actually I got to express that, so I'm happy that that's in that story, because it is an absolute mess.
Yeah.
The beta Game Pass store they have though isn't too bad. I think that's working pretty okay.
I like the Game Pass app. Yeah.
Game Pass is good.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's
that's all. It's the only thing I use the store for now is to install that Xbox app.
Yeah.
So we have our first trailer, guys. Tales of Arise gets a lengthy gameplay showcase and September launch date. Let's take a look at the trailer.
That's
guys.
excited.
So that is quite a long trailer for Tales of Arise, so we'll cut it short there. It was 7 minutes long, but that is the new Tales of Arise. Aidan is looking forward to this. Pat is looking forward to it. Tell us why you're looking forward to it, guys.
Aidan, I'll let you go first.
I like the Tales games. I've been playing them for years. This is the first one since Tales of Berseria, which was a great game. It's graphically, it's one of the nicest JRPGs I've ever seen. And these games are always fun.
When's
that?
Sorry?
I think it's out in September. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
September
I've only
10.
played 2 Tales of games, Zestiria and Berseria, and I adore those games. They are just I was about to say sexy, but I've already used that word.
Say it again. You say that word.
Those games slap, so they do. They're brilliant.
Slap.
Yeah. Pull you in and they don't let go. But yeah, they're brilliant games. One of the things I really do love about them is how they explore their characters. They have loads of optional dialogue that you can find throughout the games, and it just brings them to life so much and makes you really care for them. Like in Tales of Berseria, there's optional dialogue, which is literally just lads talking about beetles and bugs, and it's some of the best dialogue in that game altogether. And you just find it in random places, and it keeps on going on and on if you find it, and it makes it feel real. Because in most games, like, you know, there's obviously some sort of detachment with characters, because like some people wouldn't act that way in a real game, but actually getting real but actually getting just those sort of quiet moments for these characters to actually evolve and grow on you and actually feel real is just such a nice touch. And also the combat in the games is freaking class. I love it. Like, just comboing and everything is just so well done and so satisfying, and I can't wait to play this game. That's just all I can really say. I just want to play it.
Awesome. So,
you should check out Tales of Vesperia, Pat.
Yeah, it got a remaster, didn't it? There recently.
It's very, very good. Very good.
The budget's tight though. I have to see.
Is it free or not?
It could be got for free.
Yeah, everything
no,
can be
here
got
we
for
go
free
again.
for that card.
I bought here. I've paid for it twice, so you can have one of mine.
There you go.
Use that license.
Call of Duty Warzone now has 100 million players, as does Apex Legends. In the Battle Royale of Battle Royale games, there doesn't need to be a single winner. Call of Duty Warzone now has 100 million players, the same number Apex Legend achieved just 1 week ago. They can share a victory royale with Fortnite, with its 350 million plus players as of May 2020, as well as the original Players Unknown Battlegrounds, which has sold 70 million copies on console and PC, and its free-to-play PUBG mobile variant reportedly raked in 5 billion last year, 7.4 million per day.
That is
I actually forgot about PUBG Mobile.
yeah. It's
What are you at?
It
I
took
can't
over.
even. I can't. I don't even understand that money. That's too much for me. I only understand like 10 and 20 quid, lad. That's as far as I go. After that, like that, the numbers get too big, so they do, and I don't know them.
That's so mad though. It just shows you, like, again, I'm an old fogey here, but like an old fogarty. Huh?
Hey.
But like,
How many
just-
times you said that in your life?
actually, I honestly think that's the first time I've said that. But
And I hope
like,
it's the last.
hey,
Burn. Bring him to the burn
but
unit.
The like PUBG, like, you know, the game that started off the whole freaking battle royale scene. Maybe, you know, people would say that H1Z1 thing before King of the Hill mode was the first one, but like. In my head, it's like PUBG, the game, you know, it started off, but it's not as big as it used to be. Then you see these numbers on mobile, which in my brain, I forgot that even existed. That like for like battle royales and first person shooters, I forgot how massive that market is. So that's crazy that PUBG is still pulling in those numbers.
Mobile seems
PUBG
to be
still
like it.
owns Asia,
They still own it. Jesus.
basically. Like that's the big one still over there.
The mobile games are a sleeping giant, aren't they? Jesus. So,
Oh, yeah.
Every time
Money.
you hear about them, there's massive money in them. Everything. Pat is spending all his wages on it. Pat, you stop paying and spend so much money on PUBG, but
So,
I did hear
you know,
that.
it's just so
I did
addictive.
hear Apex took a massive chunk of the Asian market recently, and that's where its big sort of influx of players came from.
that
Yeah.
game has been just class. Like
I-
everything from the stealth launch to how it's just lived.
Apex is a good game.
Yeah, no,
I
it
will
definitely
say,
is.
I will say one thing wrong with the way this article is written. It's like they can share a victory with Fortnite. No, they can't. It is 3.5 times more people. They could be a distant second and third place.
Yeah, it's nowhere near.
Yeah,
where
we'll call
used
it.
to
We'll
have
call
to
it a
share the
tie.
victory, like.
We'll call it a tie. It's fine.
It seems to be growing faster than
350
Apex.
million
isn't it?
people.
It's definitely growing faster than Apex.
Oh,
If Apex
that
is
is
100 million, it's 100 million already. Apex is out a few years before that.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's going so fast. But
Yeah.
Call of Duty's had a good jump on Fortnite and Apex. They've been around a long time.
Oh yeah.
To be fair as well. But the people love Warzone. I don't know what the next battle royale is going to be. I don't even know if the genre is going to continue or are they going to stop.
I think it's getting very hard to bring a new one in unless it's a massive license.
They need to bring in some kind of a new take on it or something. Maybe
Battlefield's probably going to try it.
maybe something like arrows and knives and old. I think there was something
Something
before.
really
I don't think
hardcore.
I don't think that happened. But like swords, Bloodborne-ish kind of.
I've got 2 buzzwords for you folks, okay? Or buzz phrases.
John Fogerty.
Crafting.
Fogerty. No.
John Fogerty.
Battle Royale. Probably, is that what I'm going to say? It's already been done, by the way. I just don't know the game. Battle Royale, roguelite.
Yeah.
What?
Where's it been done?
I don't know where it's been done, but it's every game right now is with new roguelike, freaking technology.
What? Battle Royales end when you die.
It technically is a roguelike, isn't it?
But the map,
Yeah,
is
it kind
different
of is.
Their map is, but the map is different. Every
Oh,
time you go in.
procedurally generated.
Also
Battle Royale.
Procedurally generated battle royale. Every time you go in, the map is completely.
Oh, I'd play that. That would locks more important.
Imagine-
I
Yeah,
think
no.
people's attention spans wouldn't be able for just be. No, I want the same thing over and over again. Please.
Yeah,
give
if
it to me.
I can lock my way into wins like that, I would love that. If I can get a really lucky.
Here's
win.
2 bar buzzwords: Battle Royale, Tarkov.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is Tarkov's not end game to be a battle royale?
No.
No,
No.
No.
definitely not. There'd be people that would probably hang us up and string us if they heard us say it.
There is a new game.
Don't you
out.
ever say that again.
There's
Battle
a new
Royale,
game
never.
out that someone was telling me about it. It's like a new. It's basically it's a lot like Tarkov. It's called like War.
Was that Noel thing? That's it. You sent it to me as well.
I think it was actually.
Yeah, you sent it to me last week. I didn't download it yet.
yeah.
Is
Right.
that the free-to-play game on...
Steam.
I think so. Yeah.
It was on Steam anyway. Though he showed me.
Not the one that was on PlayStation.
You're talking about Valor, Ronan, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Valor?
Valor.
It's
Yeah.
That's not the
Yeah.
one we're talking about now, but there was one.
Hired Ops.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even look
That's-
into it, but he
You're
just sent
right.
me. That I was like, and I went to Steam, and then Steam annoyed me, and then just went off Steam again.
There you go.
Please sign in. I signed in last time. Do you not remember my password? No, we don't remember your password. Well, goodbye then.
Hired Ops. Do you have to like pay for the size of your stash and all that? The lark.
I didn't look into it. I can't tell
Free
you
to
more about
play.
it.
All right.
Everyone play it. It's great.
I mean, technically, I paid for the size of my stash in Tarkov. I got Edge of Darkness edition.
So did I.
We all did.
And then bought a basic account just because.
It's because
Okay, so we've just got a few more topics to get through, and then we will head on to our topic of the week news to get through. PlayStation Now finally been upgraded to 1080p streaming soon. PlayStation Now has been one of the only ways to play many PlayStation classics on modern hardware, but the streaming service has been disappointingly limited to just 720p since the launch. That's changing soon as Sony starts rolling out 1080p support across all PlayStation Now regions. Anyone use PlayStation Now? I've had a little bit of experience with it and found it actually pretty good, to be honest.
PlayStation
I've
Now.
never
Yeah.
opened the app.
I download games off it. I don't stream games off it.
I remember playing games on it before. I played like Duke Nukem and stuff like that, and it was pretty good. I can see it. Like if there's a lot of if there's good games on it, you jump on it. You can download them now and play them. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
if
Get
you
that
could
option.
download the PS3 games, I definitely get it. But the fact that
Same.
streaming, listen, 720
bringing that
was an
back, aren't they?
impossibility for me already, but 1080 is like a nail in the coffin for me.
Yeah, you'd want to be wired up with very decent internet to even have any sort of smooth.
I'd
Mood,
want my house to
streaming.
be in a mountain with good range. That's all I'd need.
True. Sony have announced that during the following weeks it will start supporting 1080p streaming for games on PlayStation Now that support it. This will be especially important for many PS4 titles on the service, including Horizon
is the
Zero
original
Dawn.
PS4 play 1080?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Those. What is the PS4 Pro? What was the upscale on that?
It'll
Okay.
upscale it. It'll upscale it.
4K.
Yeah.
Does it actually upscale to 4K though?
People say like it cheats, but I don't know. I'm not
Yeah.
a technician
That's
or
what
whatever.
that's what
the thing
upscaling is. Upscaling is.
So it's just cheating. Yeah.
Yeah.
so is PS5 true 4K?
Yes.
No, it's 5K.
Technically, you can
8K,
play.
man.
Yeah,
You don't see it on the
technically
box.
you can do 8K, yeah, technically, you can do 8K.
That's absolute lies.
We can't see. Xbox for the win.
Theoretically, you could probably play 8K media if it existed on a PS5, but you're never going to be playing 8K game on PS5 unless it's like a Devolver game.
Who was it did the one on YouTube that played on AKTV and it was like the massive size of his room?
Linus?
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I can see the difference. Kinda. How much more better can we get?
It was a 3090, wasn't it?
I don't know. No, it was actually the TV that it was. He was showing the TV off. It was the first 8K TV. So I don't know if what he played it on. I think it was they had to actually make something for it specifically to play on it. So the size was massive. Like the terabytes of stuff just to play one by 10 minutes or something, or 10 seconds maybe of something.
Yeah,
Crazy.
Check out Linus Tech Tips. He's good.
Yeah,
He's awesome. That's last week's show.
Everything I know about computers comes from him.
Yeah, fuck all. I'm joking.
Amazon reportedly cancels its Lord of the Rings MMO. Look, when I seen this first, I've always been somebody that wants a single player Skyrim-esque Lord of the Rings game. I'm a
Just bring out Two Towers again. Just
I mean, those games were brilliant. Were really, really good. And I don't know whether you remember, but there was an RPG for the first one.
Third Age.
No, that's the RTS, wasn't it? The real-time strategy game.
Third Age, not the
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, there was another one that came out, but I'm actually thinking of the Fellowship of the Ring. The first one had an old RPG as well, because the second one was the Two Towers and the Return of the King. They were the two great PlayStation games that everybody.
Yeah, they were fantastic. Everybody's played them. Yeah,
are you talking about?
Yeah,
you talking about the Fellowship of the Ring on Xbox?
It was really old. Like, it was. I don't even think it was that kind of.
Because there's two Fellowship of the Ring games came out on that during that generation. There's a PS2 one and an Xbox one, and they're different games.
No way.
Yeah, and one of them kind of plays like Fable.
Yes, that's the one that I'm thinking of.
I think that's the Xbox one.
Doesn't the Two Towers game have some of the like Fellowship of the Ring though? It wasn't that like
yes, but
maybe a little
Fellowship in because they want to make a Fellowship of the Ring game.
It has that Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance style combat.
Yeah.
But there
was an RTS that was phenomenal as well, like really, really good.
There's two of them.
Battle for Middle Earth, wasn't it?
Yeah, Battle for Middle Earth.
Yeah, they were really, really good.
Game.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not too upset. There is an MMO, Lord of the Rings game out there already that's free to play that I've put an awful lot of time into. That's not the worst. It's very like World of Warcraft. Very, very like it. So this one, it was probably going down the same route. An MMO, I'm too old. I don't have enough time for MMOs, but definitely a single player open world Lord of the Rings game. That's what I want. I want that. So
MMOs are scary. Who wants to interact with people?
Yeah, there you go. Who wants to
grind
actually for hours and hours and hours?
Speaking of grinding for hours and hours and hours, there was a story out this week about some guy in the Lord of the Rings Online who managed to max level by only baking pies.
Wow.
I'm well spent.
Some people,
why though?
How would you?
Why is not why? It's not
Imagine
how
getting
is why.
to the end and looking back.
Where
and
does
going,
the idea come from? Why would you bother?
Do you know it'd be funny?
What enjoyment
that's not
do you
funny.
get?
But you know it'd be funny. No, it's not funny.
You've
No, I
wasted
think it'd be
30
funny.
years of your life, you idiot.
Yeah, do you know what would be soul destroying?
Yeah. No, it would be. No, it wouldn't.
They'll remember me
hear
for
me
this.
out.
No, they won't.
No,
Hold on.
unless
hold on
he's
a second.
fooling
Hold
us
on a
all
second.
and set up a bot to do it.
Hold on a second, guys. Like
Possibly.
this could be like the strangest flex ever. Like imagine that. Like I'm the most powerful character here from baking pies. Like not many people can say that.
When he walks into the village, they all bow to him. It's the pie master.
Yeah, you're
But
like,
here's the thing: there's like the guy will be max level with no gear.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. And plus, he'd walk in. I'm the most powerful guy here from just baking pies. Then he'd
throw
be someone
pies
who
at them.
someone has the
pies.
same
Plenty of
level as him,
pies.
just absolutely destroys them.
That's where you're wrong, Aiden. He's got pies.
How about towards like
No,
the
he
end
eats
of
all
his-
the pies, Penny.
the end of his
Penny.
career now is working in a restaurant for the entire length of the game, and it's just him.
Can he
making,
remember how to
continues
make a pie?
pies.
If I see one
These
more
digital
pie,
pies taste really good.
he stops the whole like he calms down Sauron with pies. It's like Sauron, I have a pie for you. This will calm you down, man.
He
And like
beats the
Sauron's like,
game.
yeah. You know what? I don't even want the ring anymore, lad. Just bring me pies every day.
The worst thing is, I think that game isn't being developed anymore. If some guy did this in World of Warcraft, Blizzard would probably put him in as an NPC or something. But like, that's not even
Yeah.
going to happen.
are they bringing out another TV show for Lord of the Rings, or was that something else?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a
There's-
ghost on, isn't it?
What was the budget? Like 550 million for the first
Yeah, I
probably-
saw that.
If that goes well, they will see probably something else coming out from Lord of the Rings game.
Oh
eh?
yeah.
I love Lord of the Rings. Massive fan of the
Like,
books and the
I'd
movies.
love to see Monolith. They the ones
Yes,
that
Monolith,
did Shadow of Mordor and War For
Shadow of Modern Warfare.
Shadow of Modern Warfare.
Shadow of Modern
Mordor
Warfare.
and Shadow of War, isn't it?
Yeah, Shadow of War. Yeah, but really,
games.
like great gameplay wise. I think the story just needed a bit more cleaning up to align with the actual.
The first one I enjoyed. The second one I couldn't get into.
And the exact same.
I thought the combat just didn't match up to the first one. It wasn't as satisfying.
I
The
think so
first
too.
one, chopping orcs' heads off, is just amazing.
yeah, it's sexy.
Exactly. So we are going to move on to topic of the week. Remind me what topic of the week.
What is your favorite topics of the week? No, it's things that were supposed to be cool but were crap. I don't know. That's just the one.
What was supposed to be the next big thing but flopped?
Ooh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh yeah.
Ooh yeah.
What the heck is ooh yeah?
Like, exactly, Paddy.
Exactly.
Sega
Ooh yeah.
Dreamcast.
It was a freaking ROM. It was is that your one, Ed? If you're talking about this.
Let's do a run round here, Aiden.
You just go through things.
I'll just explain to Paddy what the Ouya was. The Ouya was the first big Kickstarter thing. It was basically an Android box. They were marketing as a console, and it met its goal really quickly, and then it shipped out, and it was crap.
Oh yeah. Oh no.
What are we thinking, guys?
Rio.
What was supposed to be the next big thing? I think Cyberpunk has to get a leg in, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Cyberpunk's probably the most modern one. Up to date.
The one that broke my heart was Aliens Colonial Marines. That was one that really hurt the soul. And let me tell you a story about this one, because I know if Johnny's listening, he'll appreciate this. So I'm a massive Alien fan. I just love the whole series. I know the movies haven't been great.
I was going to say the whole series. I know there's one you very much don't like.
Ups and downs. We've had ups and downs, okay, as an Alien fan. But this game was meant to be the game that all Alien fans wanted. You know, you join up with your buddies, you go and you take on aliens in the aliens world. It was meant to be amazing. It was in development for 10 years. There was just so many articles about it. Like, it was literally when it started to be developed, I was reading it in magazines. Like, that's how old, like, we were reading it. And it was 10 years on then, and it got released. And I remember going down to his house, turning it on, had the PlayStation, two PlayStations set up beside each other, started playing. 30 seconds in, my gun disappeared. It all went downhill from there. My gun disappeared. We were laughing, okay, because we were like, the usual, it's day one, there may be an update, blah, blah, blah. Went down the corridor a little bit more into an elevator, got stuck in the elevator, had to restart the game. Did it again. The aliens were coming through the wall. They didn't even know that we were there. It was like, talk about Cyberpunk was a mess. But
talk about red flags.
Did you get a refund?
No, I actually didn't get a refund for that one.
Poor Cyberpunk.
Yeah, poor Cyberpunk.
This is the game that will mean that I'll never like Randy Pitchford.
Yeah, there was a lot of controversy going on in the background with Take-Two, right? Gearbox, yeah, they took a lot of the funding for that game and threw it into Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
How long does a piece of hardware or a game have before it's called a flop? Like, how long can you give it? Because there's a lot of games that come out and then a year later they're good, or do you know what I mean? So. Well, how long is it before it's a flop?
No, they launched as flops, but they did good. Colonial Marines didn't do good.
No, it didn't.
No. Plus, it's back before really games as a service to that extent, in this kind of first-person shooter game. So, like, that's a game that comes out and then it's out. There's no like, oh, but we're going to improve it over time. And when we have the new DLCs out, it's just this game came out and it was broken and crap.
The reason why I brought it up is it's really interesting now because we do have another game on the horizon called Aliens Firestorm, and it's like literally the same game as Alien Colonial Marines.
It does look a bit like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's like you're part of the Colonial Marines. You're joining up with buddies. It's online. It's getting a lot of coverage off IGN. They're covering a lot around the game, and it looks really good, just like Alien Colonial Marines. Different developer. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. But Colonial Marines was really, really bad. Like, I would probably put that at the top of the list for being the most disappointed I've ever been in a video game.
Ever.
I think so, ever. Yeah, I will say ever. It was a disgrace. Like, it was a disgrace.
Were you on the buzz before? I was like, this is going to be the best game ever. Don't talk bad about it. It's going to be unbelievable.
10 years prior, right, when I first seen it, I was like, and as an Alien fan, this is what we've had to live through our whole, being a fan. Like, it's just like, oh, there's a little snippet of we're getting something. Now there's talk of TV show.
It's funny there.
Really
They've got
exciting.
that overhyped games that totally flopped this last decade. Aliens, Colonial Marines, alienated fans.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah, we've had we've had it tough as Alien fans,
And
trust
then
me.
Randy Pitchford lied about it and doubled down and got angry at critics and just acted like a petulant
Randy.
child.
Yeah. It was
There's some absolutely great Jim Sturdy videos from back in that time.
Yeah. Don't lose your USB drive, Randy.
I think a lot of games fall into the trap of trying to see what's popular at the time and then try to make it develop a game around that, and then they don't know how to do it and it messes up. Like they're looking at one as Anthem. Like they did so bad with that game.
Yes, Anthem was a disaster.
And like it was hyped. It was all over the medium. It was all over everywhere like that, and everyone just hated it from the get go. It didn't have a chance.
Well, you see, again, we talked about this before as well, Paddy. They had that thing, the kiss of death. They had the freaking overly scripted trailer.
Yeah,
the whole hey, he's on my six.
Oh God,
is he?
no, why? This is brought up way
I'll
too
shoot him
much
before
in the
you
show
do.
now.
but it's the worst
I
thing
know.
ever.
I know. It's awful.
You want to race? I'm already on 50 kills. I'm on 51. Since when? Since you went to the bathroom. LOL.
That's kind of fallen into that Lord of the Rings thing when when the three guys are fighting and they're talking to each other. I got 50 kills. I got 25.
Yeah, but that's good.
Shit only counts as one.
What are you saying?
That's what they're trying to do. There is things
that only counts as one.
there is things that are overhyped, but at the time they were kind of ahead of their time. Like Dreamcast was ahead of its time.
It was.
And if they threw a now DVD player into it, it could have been completely
It's
different.
not the DVD player why the Dreamcast flopped.
I think a lot more people would have bought it though if it had a DVD player in it too.
As
Same
a
as
kind of an
Wii U.
entertainment system.
Yeah.
No,
same
the
with
reason the
Wii U.
Dreamcast flopped is 100% EA didn't support them with sports games.
Right.
Okay, 100%.
They didn't have FIFA and they didn't have Madden, so the console was never going to succeed.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the like the PlayStation 2 probably sold so much as well because a lot of people use it for a DVD player. That's probably my opinion on it. Even me mother and father were like, that's a DVD player as well. Throw it out here. I want to play it.
It was around the same time as PS2, was it?
Yeah, it was around the same time.
Before
Yeah.
Was it before the PS2?
Yeah, just
That's
before.
a tough competition, isn't it?
Because it wasn't even that it wasn't overly expensive. It was like a really reasonable price. It didn't have Madden.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
There's a lot,
And it was
I'd say there was a
against
lot more
the
than just that.
PS2.
Yeah, it was against the PS2, the greatest console ever made.
Yeah.
And it's like Sega trying to jump into a different kind of console wise, the way they're used to, like Saturns and stuff for that before that did well enough.
Yeah.
But they were like they kind of flopped a little bit too. Like Saturns they're loved now, but back then they weren't. I don't think they get enough recognition.
Saturn was really badly. The release of the Saturn was really, really badly done.
It was very much focused on fighting games and stuff like that. People loved the fighting
also-
games on Saturn.
They announced the Saturn as a surprise and as an exclusive to one shopping chain in America.
It's never going to work, is
I
it?
remember that. And it had the
for a limited time, and then all the other shopping, all the other like Walmart and stuff who were like annoyed by it, then swore to never sell it.
They were trying to take a bit little leaf out of Nintendo's book, trying to cause a little bit of a, you can't get it here, you can't get
they
it
went
there.
up on E3 and they're like, "This is a Saturn, and it's out tomorrow."
That's the way to
in
do it.
Sears.
Apex Legends.
Just
Irish
that
lad says
just pissed
Steam
everybody
boxes.
off.
That's definitely. I don't. Did they even get released?
Yeah, some of them came out, but yeah, that's Steam OS as well. What I was talking about earlier on.
Yeah.
Steam OS was a big mistake.
The one I was thinking of now is kind of keeping on theme of like stuff like games that came out that were like I think for me I had a little think about it. Do you remember Evolve? Do you remember the hype, the absolute hype around Evolve?
Yeah.
Like a freaking like Turtle Rock Studios. It was like the game they were making because they hadn't made a game. I don't know if they hadn't made a game, but known for Left 4 Dead. They're doing Back 4 Blood now. So it's like we're making this asymmetric shooter where one of you gets to be the big bad monster and the rest of you. It's like Predator now today, the Predator game. But,
it did open the field for that style of game, though, didn't it? I know it was a flop, but there's lots of games like that now.
The hype at the pre-game hype.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it was absolutely.
Ads for everywhere.
Oh yeah, it was so. People were really big for it, and it was a mixture of things, wasn't it? It was because I have a fleet because the reason why I picked this because I had to think, and it was one of the ones that I actually played. I hadn't actually played Anthem, and I hadn't played a few of the ones that I thought of.
Yeah.
But I actually played this when it came out at the very start, and at the time I was like, "This is cool." When you could be the monster, and it was still kind of cool when you were the other guy. But obviously, you're there to be the monster. That's like what everybody wants. Which it was hard to be the monster, especially when it came out first, because everybody's queuing for the monster. So if you like being just a normal person, you were grand. If you could queue for a person, you'd be happy out. But I think anyone might be able to help me on this. Wasn't there a scandal got to do with their DLC at the time? Like there was something happened.
Didn't they make the release of their DLC a requirement for having enough pre-orders?
I think that
does sound familiar, actually.
Yeah, I think that might have been it. It was something like that. I know Deus Ex pulled something like that, and then they had to go back on it.
Oh, augment your pre-order. That was the worst.
They'll make your pre-order. But like, they recovered from that because they said, we're sorry. Yeah. They did an ESL. They pulled out and they went, we're sorry. Nothing happened. Look away.
I also
sorry.
think, wasn't there a whole thing about the Valve where it was really unbalanced at launch, and either the monster was crap or the monster was way overpowered?
I think it was the monster was way overpowered. I believe. I can't remember fully.
Yeah, you almost couldn't win.
And that was it at the time as well. I remember they had the excuse. They had it was something else with the DLCs, and the way they explained it was, they basically said, I remember this now. They basically said, we need the DLCs so that we can basically properly pay our staff or something like that. Like,
oh yeah,
we need the money. You need to buy our DLCs because the game this day in gaming, games don't make enough money on their own, and that was the way of justifying it. And that really didn't sit.
Was this the first? Was Evolve the first game that announced DLC before the game came out?
It could have been. It could. I think it might have been. I remember the hullabaloo about people being like, we're not getting the full game. This is madness. And then they're like, you have to buy the DLC because we need to pay our developers. People were like, what are you talking about? This is madness.
Was it the first season pass?
It could have been, yeah. I remember there was something that they did that
Irish Dad said it's already on the disc. So what it was, it's not download content.
DLC.
That was it. That was it.
That's to this day, I think, is the scummiest practice any company ever did.
But yeah,
Street Fighter Cross Tekken had the same.
And then the game went into obscurity because not only that, but it was just kind of the premise that kind of got old after a while without much innovation. You play as the monster a few times and it's like, yeah, I've done it now. And then it dropped its player base really, really quickly. Like after about 2 weeks or something after coming out.
That game is shut down, isn't it?
I could be, actually. I don't know, honestly.
What other games? Or
I was going for another console. Yeah, the Virtual Boy.
Oh yeah, that's very bad.
I mean, come on, this freaking red lines, garbage.
Maybe ahead of its time.
It's ahead of its time. Technology probably.
You can very, if you want to be really generous, you can say it was ahead of its time. But
it wasn't aesthetically pleasing.
I am being generous. It was definitely fitting into that time. Movies of that time were kind of like set, the future, everything like that, and that's what it's kind of hitting into. I think.
Yeah,
Tron 90s movies.
Red, blue,
the Lawnmower Man and stuff like that.
The Lawnmower Man. A big one that I really like, but it's definitely a flop, was the Vita.
Oh yeah,
it wasn't really hyped up though.
The Vita flop.
What's that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I love the Vita too, but I know it was a flop. I know technically it was, but
yeah,
was
but
it?
I know. Yeah, but I just wanted to throw it in there because I love the Vita. I still have it.
Fantastic.
It was discontinued in 2019, I think. Very recently.
I think it was a flop at launch, but I think over its lifespan, it sold at like a fair amount.
Okay. I think it ended at around 13 million worldwide, everything, which not very good for a console.
No,
that's true.
They definitely big number, happy with the sales anyway.
Like when you look at the PSP, like the PSP was what, 88 million, I think.
Oh, is it so that like the difference? Oh god!
So what you do now is, if you got a box one, box it and put it away because it'll be worth a fortune.
Yeah, really good, really good.
Especially if you have the old day one. Like the old day screen one is so beautiful to play games on.
It's the one I had.
Yeah, it would have been the original one. Then they got I was gonna say LSD.
That's the LCD.
LCD.
That's it. You play that stuff on LSD, man, it'll blow your mind.
Which one is
It's
this?
great. That looks like the original one. So that's an old day
think it is
screen.
the
So like
original
that's
one, yeah.
best quality. Yeah.
Do you
yeah,
know,
it's beautiful.
Great
do you know
console.
the other too old for gaming is a Vita YouTuber, John?
Yeah, and he does PSPs, and of course I know this. He's literally some content bollocks. I love him.
I only found this one really recently. There's another too old for
If
got away.
you search for John at all, that's who you get. And you're like, that's not him.
He gets way more subscribers. I'll tell you that much.
He's stealing your subscribers, John. That's what it is.
No, I literally looked it up. He spells it slightly differently. That's the thing.
He's the 2 number at the beginning.
Yeah, but no, I actually watched some of his videos. It's actually not that bad. Probably give him a sub, lads. But yeah,
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
I'm gonna give him a hate, John.
I think he's branched out
Give me
recently.
my friend his name back.
When I discovered him after I came up with his name, he was basically doing PSP reviews, and like Vita reviews, but it was mainly PSP, I think. And I was like,
One-dimensional.
Your one's worse on it. Alpha, you go up against that guy, he's like millions.
Yeah, Alpha Gaming. I watched
way
that guy.
worse.
He's pretty good.
he's got like 5 or 6 YouTube channels and they got millions
That's
on
what
them.
I'm inspiring to be. Alpha Gaming.
Alpha Gaming. Give me my name back. Boom.
Yeah, he's a good creator, actually.
He's very
He
good.
is.
Yeah.
He's very good. He's
I
very
enjoy
good for
watching him.
information.
Yeah. There's loads of games if you that didn't do well that probably should have done well as well.
Anybody in the chat have any games for us?
Yeah.
I think the big question here is like how many of these games were like properly like going to be the next big thing.
Cyberpunk definitely
Cyberpunk
was.
was 100%.
Yeah, like
Anthem-
Cyberpunk definitely. But,
Anthem
like,
was hyped
if-
up to high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthem, man, Anthem has so much potential, but so many games that went with the live service model made the mistake of not going. What were all the mistakes Destiny made, and how did they fix them before releasing
Yeah.
the game?
Like that's the problem, I think, Aiden, is I love Destiny. I put a lot of hours into it. But when I hear it's the next Destiny, that is just instant turn off for me.
I'm the same. I'm
like,
have no interest in
stop
the next
trying to
step.
be something that,
Yeah.
it didn't launch that well, Destiny, but it always had the gameplay. It always kept you kind of coming back for more, and they improved.
Who made
over time.
Anthem? Is it EA, isn't it?
Yeah.
BioWare.
Sometimes
and
then
especially
sorry. It's just
Sorry,
and then a lot of these games, you know, the ones that are actually hyped up to the fuck. Do you ever think a lot of them have a lot of ad money? And that they're just
Definitely.
there's driving in people's faces, and we're all getting hyped
Yeah.
because it's pushed into our brains.
Oh,
Someone
yeah.
wrote that script on the Anthem ad. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
it's the worst.
Same as Cyberpunk. We've been seeing it for 7 years. It's been buried in our brain, and Keanu Reeves and
Your
They could do
breathtaking.
nothing wrong apart from
No.
release the game.
Fake gamer talk does
Exactly.
now. Fake gamer talk is the easiest way to unhype me for something now.
Oh yeah. The only 2 games that I know I remember doing it were that and The Division. Both did it.
Yeah,
Tra-
the Division
trailers.
trailer really ruined it.
Oh,
for me.
They need to
loves The
stop
Division.
doing that.
I think a lot of your
Six.
quotes,
Oh
I think
yeah,
a lot of your
Division.
Division,
quotes,
my
Realistic.
favorite game.
a lot of quotes came from your quotes were coming from the Division. I take it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was completely. It was literally like on your 6th. Huh. I don't see anybody. No silly. All this. Just go away
Yeah.
from me.
Yeah,
Stop.
and it's always snark noise. Saying something.
I think it's just after coming back from the John. By the
And
way,
you know
I-
it's recorded in a vocal booth because it's just pristine
Oh yeah,
vocals.
pristine.
Like.
There's no lad like clipping going.
No.
Oh, racial slurs.
Yeah, no racial slurs. You're
I
right.
love the fact that we can talk about that because it is disgusting. It is
Oh,
disgusting.
you're ma.
Or the people that
No, you're
the people that put their mic beside a radio.
Oh Jesus!
I
Oh,
hate those people so much.
that's just nasty. Like,
I won't turn it off. I'm playing another one. Not your turn. Ah!
Every so often, just hearing beep from some smoke alarm.
Oh, that is that is insane. We should just have a show where we just talk about things that annoy us because this is getting a lot of anger out here, guys. If you
The
have
little
a smoke
annoyances of
alarm and
gaming.
you don't put a battery in it,
And the
there's a
guy,
special place in hell for you.
who it's happening, but everyone else is
The
here.
fireplace in hell.
He doesn't even notice it. He doesn't even
He
know.
doesn't
You're all
know.
hearing
No.
it. You're
He
all
won't
hearing it.
admit to it. That's
But
the
he can't hear it
problem.
because he's got his ears covered, is right.
Yeah. And he's living
That's
with us.
Dave. That's right. So Dave for like 2 years playing Fortnite with him, and he only changed the battery recently.
The
And everyone
human
has
brain
beep.
can get used to that sound. Like it's just
Yeah.
change the battery. It's £7. Like and
I remember jumping on with someone.
years.
I remember jumping on with someone, and they literally had their child like in something to sit beside them, and the child was screaming, "Stop! Yeah, stop!" and every wow, stop! Come on now. Just
Come on, I'm trying to play this
don't mind
video
us.
game.
I'm trying to hold her here at the same time. But he's over here. He's on me 6. No, like, look after your child, will you? It's a time for gaming. Beep. Oh
The
Lord!
beeping of the alarm is just comical.
Yeah.
I just have to come up on your screen. This is the game I want to come out. I want it to be remade. I know it probably has already, but GoldenEye.
Golden
I just
Eye.
Oh,
I just want
that's a
it to come
story.
out.
That's a story we didn't get to talk about a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, there was actually a planned remake, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was
I heard
when,
this plan me a
during,
couple of years
during
ago.
the 360 era. Microsoft thought they were going to be able to gain the rights to remake GoldenEye, and they had a team doing it. And
I suppose that's rare, right? So they probably would have thought they would.
yeah, the game was basically finished when they found out from Nintendo this was never going to happen. And about a month or two ago, that build leaked online, and you can play it through an Xbox 360 emulator.
Nice.
Nice.
And it's
We should all
GoldenEye
play
with
that.
GoldenEye with twin stick shooting.
But it's just like
Brilliant.
the original COD or something. It's just so good. It's so
You
good.
codding me?
Yeah, I'm not codding you. I love that game. It was such a good. I used to go and hide against the wall. No one could find you. Just looking at the tiles. Just I think because you're looking at your screen at the same time. Stop looking.
Anyone ever play much of Medal of Honor Underground on PS1?
I think I did play
Yeah.
it, but I can't really remember
Yeah.
that much. I definitely had a shot of it.
Or 007 Nightfire?
I can remember Medal of Honor Frontline very well. I love that
Which
game.
was the one that you started off, or this actually could be Call of Duty, one of the other ones. One you stormed the beach in Normandy.
That's
Yeah,
Frontline.
Frontline.
Yeah.
Front
But
line.
that's, yeah.
The shooting and everything that was a brilliant game.
And
Not
opening
flops.
level.
Jesus.
Yeah, we're
what
not
do you
talking.
call
We're
it?
talking about successful games. Or
Yeah, we're talking about success.
Medal of Honor Allied
sexy
Assault
games.
Allied
for
Assault,
PC.
yeah.
It had the Normandy beach landing as well. God, I miss Medal of
It's a
Honor.
great landing.
I know it had
Yeah,
a
it
video
brought me
game,
back.
but
Brought me
I
back when I
want
was there.
it.
That
Yeah,
Medal of
exactly.
Honor, that Medal of Honor VR game that came out a couple of weeks ago was a flop.
Yeah, I'd say it is.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if people are playing it.
The system requirements are astronomically high.
There's a big list here. I'll go through a list of games that have
Yeah,
Go
flopped.
through the list,
throw them
Pat.
out
This
there.
is from thegamer.com. Check them out.
Good website.
Them
Check
out.
them out.
Yeah, check them out. Check out therepublicplayers.com as well. I'm have to put in the podcast on it as well.
Nice.
15
Oh,
over
that's where I get my Lip Hero guides.
15
Ah.
overhyped games that flopped. This was written in 2017, so there could be some before that. Is it Final Fantasy 6 X15? That's 16. Final Fantasy
X15 is
Online.
14.
14.
So it was the original
Oh, the
build, I'm
original
assuming.
14.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
that was
yes,
a mess.
Was
The
it?
game's so bad they had to remake it. Like
And it was
completely.
very successful the second time around.
Yeah.
People still play that game.
It's one of the it's one of the only MMORPGs I ever played extensively.
Very, very technical.
They're
I
still
found when I was playing it.
still releasing content for that, aren't they?
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was very good. It was actually a very good game.
Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2.
Yeah.
2 was not great. The first
It's
one was
very
very,
meh.
very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and then Roland's favorite game, Aliens,
There it is.
Colonial Marines. 14.
Disgusting.
Number 13 is Knack.
Hey!
Come on.
Oh,
Hey!
dude.
No,
It's
just
so
skip
bad.
that, Paddy. Don't be saying that in this show.
I didn't write
Don't
down.
you,
It's-
Dolly.
Dare
This
you?
is a
So-
pro knack podcast.
How
The
dare
king
you?
of all
How
games.
dare
How could you
you?
go
How
so
dare you?
far?
There's a line in this you're not going to like. It says, "Oh, if only Knack was an entertaining game."
Oh,
Oh.
my God.
Oh, straight to the
Just
Do you know what I'm gonna
don't
say?
go and follow that guy.
Don't
He hasn't
follow
a
him.
clue what
Don't
he's
follow
talking
that guy
about.
we just said.
heart.
I give him a
We're
slap.
stealing his content right now, so follow him. Number 12
Wouldn't
is
care less.
Duke Nukem Forever. I haven't played it. I remember like if you threw all the Duke Nukem games at me, I wouldn't be able to tell you which one I'm playing.
No.
It's
So-
not that. It's not that bad.
Oh,
it's not
it's-
fantastic, but it's not that bad.
Land of the Babes was awesome.
Duke Nukem Forever is a bad game that was never going to be good.
The
Yeah.
storyline of Land of the Babes was ridiculously good. You land
a
on
land- I
like Land of the
no
Babes.
men. There's no men, and the last part of the game, You're after winning the whole thing.
Who's the
And then
enemy?
the last thing he says is,
The pig yolks.
it's now it's
Oh, yeah.
time for Operation Repopulation. You wouldn't get that game out these days.
No, you
No.
don't.
Nathan, you wouldn't.
No, just you
Nathan,
wouldn't.
you wouldn't.
Or he stands at the toilet. Oh, that's so
No,
good.
Duke
Just-
Nukem Forever is in no way a good game. But I
It's not-
finished it, and I didn't want to tear my eyes out. How about that?
I finished the first.
you're easily
level.
entertained, John.
I was not going any further than that.
It's
And that was,
okay.
that was the
Fine.
demo.
Number 11, Homefront: The Revolution. Never played it.
remember
Oh,
know
I remember
that,
coming out. It was I remember being
definitely a
flop.
war game. I
It's in my
think was it like
backlog.
was it
Is
big scale
that-
battles?
Is that the game
Uh,
that you can play Time Splitters 2 in?
Might be.
I don't know. It says challenging gameplay with an entertaining plot to navigate through. So when the revolution was announced, it was easy to see why some fans are pretty excited for the drop. Sequels also always have a lot of pressure riding on their release, especially if they're following up to a well-received title. Sadly, Homefront fans, Revolution failed up to live expectations, with most critics calling it mediocre entry to the series. Most agree that the game had potential, but technical issue plagued the title so prevalently that it ultimately ruined one of the experiences for playing. So it was number 2.
There is
Homefront.
one cool thing with Homefront Revolution. Only this year it came out that there is a way to unlock a full port of Time Splitters 2 and Homefront the Revolution.
That's pretty cool.
It's not
And this was on PC, and Time Splitters 2 was never released on PC. So the
Wow.
developer who snuck this in
Aw.
ported it to PC and then snuck it into Homefront the Revolution.
Maybe you should have spent more time on the game and not worrying about
Hey-o! Got him!
Get him! Come at me!
It's the only way to play Time Splitters 2 on PC. Like,
Number 10, Sim City.
it was
Well,
terrible.
you see, that was because that was the newest Sim City. Well, not newest anymore, but that was the one because of the DRM. It was
Yeah.
the fact that it was a single player game.
And they
That had,
lied.
it was one of the first single player games that had DRM that you couldn't play it unless you were online. But then the online was broken, so nobody could log on, so nobody could play the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they lied and says they have to have always online DRM. And then like a month or two later, they just randomly removed it one day, and it turns out it was
Yeah,
all
A
it
lot
was
of
like-
lying, isn't there?
It was like the Xbox when they were like,
Business.
it was like you need to have to
Business.
connect for this console to work.
This
And then
game
nobody
killed
bought it.
Maxis as a developer, and it killed SimCity as a franchise.
Yeah, it was that big
I'd
of a
rather
flop.
Sin City myself. Vegas,
Hey!
baby! Vegas, baby!
I'm on this list as well, Paddy. There's no way this next game was ever meant to be the next big thing.
Haze.
Yeah. No,
But it's
never.
extraordinary. This fella it is, right?
Well,
Right?
no, people were calling it like the Halo killer.
Halo
because
killer, yeah.
The guy looked a bit like the guy. He didn't really, but people were like, "He's a robot man." But this is the Halo killer.
This game is not good.
No.
I never
It's
played
not.
it.
The
I never played it.
people that called this the Halo killer were the people that was pissed off the PS3 didn't have any good shooters.
Resistance. is pretty
Haze
good.
was. Resistance is brilliant.
Yeah.
What
Bring
was
it back.
Black on? That was on PS2, was it?
PS2.
I love
great.
Black.
Great
That was
game.
a
Yeah,
great
Black is fantastic. Everybody says that, and I love it too.
I think
Yeah.
I've showed it. We have it. You have a copy of it.
Black has the best sound work of any game
Yeah.
maybe ever.
Quality.
the RPG. Jerry, remember the RPG? All you hear
Everything
knew you were dead,
sounds.
and about
yeah.
3 seconds later, yeah.
That's the Halo killer.
But
Uh,
Haze was shite.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I loved it. Never played it.
Is his BJ.
Evolve.
Hey, there he
Oh,
is.
hey.
Talking
Yeah.
about that.
Hey, hey, look at-
Star Fox Zero. I never played that either. I played
Well, that was
Star
a
Fox
very-
3,
that was
2.
people got mad because they had and again, I don't mind put whatever difficulty
Light Wars
games
is
you
awesome.
want. Light Wars is fantastic. People got mad at that game because they had a difficulty where you literally couldn't take damage. But I hate that criticism because you don't need to play
That's-
that game mode.
Not the only criticism.
I know that's not the only criticism. That was one of
Even
the big
that's not
ones.
even. Oh, I think the big one was that it was almost impossible to play the way they integrated the.
I never played it, so I don't know.
They made you switch between the Wii U controller and the screen in such a really confusing way that it became really difficult to play and would give some people headaches.
I was
Oh, you're
surprised that
saying-
franchise
was
wasn't
this-
pumped out. It's a very Star Fox is pretty popular.
Yeah.
Are you saying
Talking
that
about
the,
flops. Wii
Yeah.
U.
I was going to say, are you saying that the Wii U controller people were finding it too big and cumbersome and confusing? That never would have dawned on me.
Here's
Terrible.
a hot take. The Wii U controller is really comfortable.
We've literally had this argument like probably 2 or 3 times. That's why I brought
Probably. It's really
Shite.
comfortable.
I hate it.
We've already said this Final Fantasy. That's number 6.
It's a big mistake, but I like it.
I played Bayonetta on that thing. You'd be like, why aren't I on a normal controller?
See the way it says this one, next one is Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. But there's not that many good Sonic games though. Is there after like
But there's there's very few worse than this one.
Yes.
Sonic the
this is
Hedgehog,
the
just
worst
original
one.
Sonic the Hedgehog number 0.
Yeah, the
One-
Xbox 360 one.
1, 2,
The one where
3.
Sonic had a human girlfriend.
They made Doc
CD.
too skinny as well. He looks very skinny right there.
Who? Socks.
Doc, the doctor.
Sorry. He said
Socks,
socks.
yeah, Socky.
Socky's
Socky's in it.
Socky.
Stocky's in it. I actually loved the Sonic movie. Have you watched it?
No, actually, I haven't.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
actually
good.
have.
Very
yeah.
decent. It's very good.
Decent.
I'm looking forward to the next one.
Really watchable.
It didn't really feel like a Sonic film, though. It felt more like just like a buddy tag-along film.
I don't know. I loved all the Easter eggs that they had in it, like back to the original games. The
Easter
names
eggs,
of,
yeah, but like,
the names of the places and everything was very good.
but still at the same time, like, it didn't really feel like, oh yeah, this is definitely Sonic. It just felt like
definitely
this
was. He
is
was
Sonic
blue,
in the movie.
And he ran around the screen really fast. And
Can I
he
ask
got
you a
coins
question?
and
But
I was going to say, does Sonic have much of an identity anymore?
he's blue.
He's been
and
a
he runs around the
hedgehog.
screen.
Can I ask a question? Whoever has
He's
seen it.
blue.
Is Jim Carrey in the movie called either Dr. Eggman or Dr. Robotnik? Which one is it?
Yes.
Dr. Robotnik.
I'm all in. I'm a Robotnik man. No
And
Eggman.
you know
No
what?
Eggman
He's so
for me.
good.
No.
He's
I'll
probably
watch
the
it.
saving
Honestly,
grace of
Grab
that film.
yourself
for me.
a
And this is-
popcorn, leave your brain at the door. It's a perfect flick just
This-
to unwind.
Oh, I
It's
thought it
great
was
buddy
decent
film.
for
This
kids
is a
when
guy
they were
who
very
used to get the comics and knows that the comics are crazy. And Dr. Robotnik used to be a nice guy called Dr. Kintobar who got exploded and then he became evil. And funnily enough, Kintobar backwards is Robotnik.
Jim
Nice.
Carrey plays him absolutely.
The
decent,
card
really well.
backwards is Dracula.
Miles
It's
per
like a
hour.
Sonic movie.
Yeah,
Miles per-
miles
yeah.
per hour, yeah.
It's cleverly named things.
Sonic T
Knuckles is in the
Hedgehog.
sequel. I noticed
Knuckles is in the
from
next
set
one,
photos. Yeah, from set photos.
Knuckles in his nipple gloves.
He's in a kidney. A kidney.
Mighty number 9. This is Mega Man.
Mighty
yeah?
number 9 was
Oh,
the Mega
yeah.
Man kind of.
Yeah, those
Right.
kickstarters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Never
lot of
heard
hype
of
for
it.
this. A lot.
Yeah.
And guess how it went? It's
Fell
on this
flat.
list. Just to
Never
give you a
played
little
it, but-
spoiler on, and it went shit.
It was just bad, wasn't
And
it?
now
Never played
here,
it.
Paddy. That's an insult to shite.
All right,
Um,
okay. Maybe it is. I don't know. I've never even seen it.
He's insulted Knack today, so anything because anything.
I didn't
I
insult
can't
that. Hey,
trust him.
hey, no, hey,
Can't
oh,
trust that man.
hey! I'm just reading the news.
You know
I
the
don't
way
I
Mega
was
Man
reading
games.
it.
You know the Mega Man games are really hard, but they control really well and they're like real
Yeah.
tight and like the well designed. Imagine if it was like that, but none of that.
So Knack, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah,
Oh
that
yeah,
was,
It
yeah.
killed Mass Effect.
Killed Mass Effect, yeah.
That was actually I've seen that. You could do that as a topic as well. The games that kill their franchises.
Mass Effect Remastered is coming out.
It is.
Or the
And
the
there's
companies
also
that kill their
the new
franchises.
Mass Effect.
Number
Effect.
2 is Watch Dogs. I didn't think Watch Dogs was that bad.
The first
The original
one
Watch Dogs,
did
first Watch
real
Dogs, yes.
well.
Oh,
Yeah.
First Switch
Nope.
Dogs.
First one was
Oh,
a flop.
God. So
And
famously.
number 1, this is definitely because
iconic hat.
this was written 2017.
Well, can we
so
have
you
a
can
guess?
see why.
Let's
Yeah.
go. Let's Ed. What do you
Well,
think? of
Aiden
this?
already knows.
I'm on.
Sorry,
the list.
John.
Jesus, you have to give me a second. If you have one in your head.
God hates being put on the spot. He hates it.
I'm trying to think as well.
I was up in Tipperary the other day, and here comes the
Yes.
story.
No, I have no idea. I for some reason I have a mental block.
See, he hates it. He hates it.
No
Man's Sky?
Yeah.
Technically,
What
yeah,
is
but
it?
it did come back.
No Man's Sky.
Bingo.
In 2017, that makes sense as well, actually.
Yeah.
No Man's Sky. Okay.
I guess right. I'm good at guessing.
That's
I was
a
going to
game
say
that's come
Hitman
good.
Absolution, but I don't even think that was
That
big
No Man's
enough.
Sky
To be.
definitely
Nah.
would be this year's Cyberpunk. Like that would have been what it was back then because everybody was
Yeah.
like, actually, I don't think there was more hype for No Man's Sky. I'm going to say it.
Oh, I think there was. Well,
There
yeah,
was
definitely.
more hype for.
I
No
will
Man's
throw it
Sky.
out though. No Man's Sky became a phenomenal game.
I
Yeah,
jumped
it
in to play it
really
for a while,
went
but I kinda
good.
got bored of it.
I loved
Um,
it.
What was
like,
it?
I played it for one night.
Nine separate expansion updates
Was
so
it
far.
me and you played it, John, wasn't it? We had
For
our-
a good bitch, yeah.
that was. I liked it now. I just love
Oh,
how
yeah.
open it is, and it doesn't feel anymore that things are just popping into.
I
your world.
got Space Freighter. Remember that? That was
Yeah.
one of the last things that
I
happened.
couldn't get one because
Yeah.
the game glitched out.
Glitched
Speaking
on the
of
end.
glitches.
I know in the chat, give us some more games there.
I'm surprised Sea of Thieves wasn't there. Or did it come out after 2017?
2017. I'd say it came out after that.
What
I'd say
game?
Sea of Thieves
Successful,
came out
though,
after
no?
that.
Yeah, but when it came out, I don't
When it
think a lot
came
of people
out,
were happy
like-
with it.
Yeah, because there wasn't much to do when it came out, and it was one of those games. What happens a lot these days, where they say it's coming, the
But it's
content
not
is
like
coming.
after like 50 hours, people were upset that there was nothing else to do.
No, I don't think so. I think because
Short,
back
was it?
then, it's just I think the core concept of the game was go to the island, get the thing, come back. I think that was pretty much, and kill a few skeletons. And then I know people say that was doing the game now, but like they've added loads to the game since. I'd never played it back then, so I couldn't really tell you. But I remember the common complaint is there's just not much here, and them promising, oh yeah, but sure, stuff is going to come, which it did. But then that was when people are starting to get a bit, and it still happens, but people are starting to get annoyed with the whole fact of our game wasn't finished, but we released it because we knew you'd pay for it, sort of a thing.
Is Sony VR a flop?
No, I don't know.
I don't think so. Like they're
I don't think
like
so.
No.
see,
not.
VR is
Nope.
hard to tell because it's so like new, really. In all honesty,
Is it though?
For,
Have we not been talking about it for a long,
few years.
long time?
I know
Well,
that like
it's been in concept since about the 60s or something, but
True.
yeah, I don't like
Well,
it's kind of it's definitely something that's going to keep getting better and better and better. The Oculus and stuff is supposed to be good enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love Oculus Quest 2, and it's getting Resident Evil 4.
No way.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh,
the only
so
reason
excited.
I'd say PSVR isn't a flop is because of how much support it's getting. Because if it was a flop, like we know what Sony did to the Vita.
Mm.
Yeah,
that
But
was
I think it's a work.
after
I think it's a
many
working
years.
concept. I think it's a working concept. I think it's going to
But,
keep
like,
better,
Vita
better,
was
better. I don't
quickly
think they're going
given
to let
up
it go
on.
in a graveyard.
I think the fact that they give that free adapter out for everybody that wanted it is a sign
Great
that
move.
it's not dead.
yeah.
Sure, they're working on a second one now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're working on the newer model. I think something that shoots VR, and I know I'd like to know the percentages on this. Paddy, if it, yeah, get
20.
ready there now. How many people actually do get that sickness thing? Because I think that is a big thing for
I
VR.
got to
and a
play
lot of
No
people-
Man's Sky, but I didn't get to play in some driving games, and
Yeah.
we played Resident Evil on it as well. Some games that have like motion, weird motion in it, I find that it's not
but
great.
some people don't get it at all. Some people don't get that.
I didn't
kind
get
of
it. Well, I only
motion
played a few
sickness
games and I didn't get it either.
at all.
And it also decreases over time.
Increases.
Decreases.
Okay, so
You get sicker the more you play.
Like car sickness.
But that's why the teleport moving stuff works pretty well as well, if that does happen to you.
yeah.
Oh, I love that t-shirt, John.
Oh, Hideo freaking Kojima.
Nice.
I love that t-shirt. That's deadly.
I wonder how many times he stretched before someone
Yeah,
knows. He's probably doing it all again. Just the whole episode. Every now and again.
I got this randomly freaking advertised by Kid Icarus, actually. That's why I bought it. I can't remember why.
Icarus
I don't think we can do this
legend.
episode without mention the most hyped or the most the worst game that ever happened. ET.
ET.
Yeah.
The hype around ET was massive in the 80s due to the release
Killed
of the hit
video
movie.
games.
It was a surprise
Killed
that
video
Atari went
games,
out
man.
and spent 20 million
tried
to
to kill video
acquire
games.
the licensing to create the game. The game sold 1.5 million units and is one of the top-selling Atari 2600 games of all time. But things went sour quick as more than 3 million cartridges went unsold. Atari literally buried millions of copies of games in the landfill in New Mexico, whereas later dug out in 2014. The game ended up losing the company. Guess. There's one.
Everything.
Since I gave the last one.
Everything. 500 million. I couldn't tell you, Paddy. I don't know how the numbers go.
Pat. We used to bring back the guessing game.
I'll guess 12 million.
You're wrong. Anyway. Aiden.
200 million.
Roland.
80 million.
No, John was right. Closest to 536
That's
million
pretty
pounds.
close.
And back
Pretty
then,
cose.
like in
They
the
had to sell
in the
4
80s,
million
that would be a lot of
copies.
money.
They had to sell 4 million copies to break even. And no game before that had sold over 1 million on the 2600, and they intended to sell 4 or 5 million copies.
Like it's
And
one
they
of
rushed-
Atari's
they rushed
best-selling games. It's just ridiculous to think that they're going to sell that many.
Yeah,
And
that's just they rushed it. They wanted it out around when the movie was out. So they basically went to the developer and said,
4 months.
Wow.
yeah, get this done. And he was like, excuse me? And like a lot of people used to give out because it near the end of man's career as well. It's actually a great documentary about it. And it's the one where they actually dig up it's when they find the things, if anyone has seen it. But they go in depth about the actual development of the game. And it just shows like it really wasn't the developer's fault. It was the the publishers.
It nearly ruined gaming as well. It made it feel like the market wasn't there for it, because the market fell out of it. Then the bottom fell out of the gaming market, and it took a long time for it to recover. After
the great video game crash of '86.
Yeah. But that's the marketer's fault. Whoever did that, thinking that they're going to sell that many. Oh, the movie was massive. Movies have been around for how long? Gaming's been around for how long? You know what I mean? There's a big difference between movies and games at that time. There still is.
Greed makes people do stupid things.
Just because that's the massive thing. Even if you watch the Anglo Video Game Nerd, that massive thing back then was to make movies into games, and they grabbed the licenses and they did it over and over and over and over again. And nowadays you don't see it that much.
And then it didn't happen for years. There was no video games around movies.
No, there's a lot. Like if you look back between especially Atari and NES and all that, it's always
Terminator 2,
Terminator,
Alien
and RoboCop,
Predator.
The Terminator game was great. Remember that one on Mega Drive?
Yeah,
it was a great one.
Yeah, it was good.
They're all the same.
Tough as nails, though.
They were all the same toughness, weren't they?
I just
saw your brother mention, Paddy.
Yeah.
I just saw your brother mention, Paddy. WWE 2K20 was so bad they cancelled the next game.
Did they?
It's awful. It's absolutely awful.
Yeah, sure.
The glitches in that were great, though. Just watching them.
On Twitter, watching the videos and the pictures of people's faces coming apart and stuff.
And the really badly written, terrible storyline. That game was a disaster.
So real wrestling.
Irish lad says, well, VR is a fad, really. It's like 3D movies that pop up every so often and then go away. I don't think so.
VR.
I think it's
I don't agree with VR. I don't think I think it's in its infancy. I think that's going to be the next big thing. A lot of people say it is.
I did think that until I put on a VR headset, and then I instantly stopped thinking that.
But I think if they make it easier, like not a big, so intrusive, such an intrusive thing to put on your head, I think if they make it easier where it's put on something quick and simple, like glasses, like Rona's on there or something to make it a little less intrusive. Not that it's a big, massive yoke you put on your head and you have to move this and move that. And maybe if you didn't have to move, augmented reality more than VR might be the way forward.
Yeah.
Beam me in, Matrix style.
Being wireless is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was never going to be succeed when it was a wired thing.
Well, like gaming is just the start of what it's going to be used for. Like it's going to be used for many different
surgery,
things.
teaching people how to do surgery, stuff like
augmented reality is
and other things.
And he said, "Hey, wait."
I don't know what you're talking about, John. It's probably already used for that. Is it John? Is it John? I have to buy one. Is it? Do I, John?
I'd have to go to my sources.
Sorry, Aiden.
That's
you're his source. We know you are. Come on.
Did it?
Look, there isn't a way.
I don't think Death Stranding flopped.
No.
I think it's sold a lot. It was up for Game of the Year that year.
Yeah, no, it was pretty well received.
Microsoft are developing.
Well, it wasn't. It was a Marmite game. I'll admit that much.
Yeah, but the people that liked it. I think everyone kind of appreciated it, but people said, "Look, it's not for me." But the people that it was for really enjoyed it.
I think it sold well, though. I don't think it was a flop financially. Yeah, I don't think so.
Bad.
I don't know. It fell over a couple times.
The fact that Microsoft is now like in a bidding war to try and get their next exclusive from him says a lot.
Oh yeah,
I think it's the name alone.
Get the man involved. Huh?
The name alone
been confirmed though.
It's been confirmed
or denied.
But you know that like you're going to get something different than any other game out there, which is really interesting this day and age. I like Death Stranding. I thought it was very, very interesting, and from what I played, I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Do you know a game of a lad writing something? That's
by the ideas of Hideo Kojima.
Never want to buy it.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm never bored by the ideas of Hideo Kojima.
No.
Well, at least he's original. At least he's trying something different.
I want a big whale in the sky.
You can't say that too much. You can't say that too much nowadays with games. It's just regurgitating. With games, just different skins on them. Open world, 50 million hours long. 50
there was
million
a
hours
time.
long.
There was a time like, and it's not as bad now. But open world was just every game. Like it was The Witcher, it was Horizon, it was there was so many of these massive games.
No,
here's one as well. By the way, we said. Oh, what you say, Pat?
I think we're kind of still there with the open world.
I think so. I agree with that. But what I would say is for we're talking about last week. I finally finished God of War.
Oh, nice.
And technically that is open world, but it's open world on a reasonable map. It's a map that isn't that big, but it's so crammed with all these little secrets and all these nooks and crannies that every little island you go onto is interesting. Every single little thing you do, you go to this little place, you know there's about 3 or 4 things to do, rather than just miles and miles of nothing.
That game is kind of best developed for a person like myself. I like open world games, but it has to have kind of bring me on the path as well.
Yeah.
And that does that well. It's like you can split off if you want, but you can follow the path as well easy. You know, like that's the kind of way I like it.
Legitimately one of the best games I've played in a long while.
I hate where the developers hit all those crows. I hate them.
I haven't gone after all the Odin crows. I'm not completionist.
Don't it will ruin your life.
Did you fight any of the Valkyries?
I fought all of them.
They're very good.
Do you have
the crows were the worst enemy?
Do you have to? I know. I bet the Hell place to get to that Valkyrie. Do you have to beat that freaking Fog place to get to that other Valkyrie?
It's been like 2 years.
I think there's one there. Yeah, there could be.
I know she's there, but you actually have to beat the place to get to her.
Like the Fog place, I think you had to go. Like you have, I know you can do certain directions in it, and
maybe
you have to go
find
certain
her.
directions together. Yeah, so you have to.
She's
find
the only
her
one
in
I've left
place.
to do. She's the only one I've left to do until I'm assuming I have to fight the main one after I get the 8 skulls.
I remember when I went to fight one of the Valkyries, and I remember Jack was in watching me, and I wasn't far enough in the game to beat the Valkyrie. And I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it. And Jack was like, maybe you should come back to it later, Paddy. And I was like, no.
Yeah, you get too stubborn, don't you?
No, I'm going to beat this right now. I can do it.
There's a loop in video games that you get caught up in sometimes. Like, I can do this. And then it's like,
they wouldn't let me be in front of this Valkyrie if I couldn't beat the Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Happens in Bloodborne and Dark Souls sometimes.
Even though it's an RPG.
Yeah, lads, you just have to remind me of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. When I went into that game, I didn't think about the level system. I went to the first town I could raid, and I kept getting my ass handed to me. I was like, what's going on here? Like, this is ridiculously hard. Turned out I was going to the highest leveled area where you were supposed to be like around level 200. And I was like, well, I'm only level 1. But then when I found that, I was like, I'm getting slightly better. I can do this. I spent about 10 hours trying to do that one raid.
Getting nowhere.
And I failed. I didn't. I beat one of the big guys, which I'm proud of. But after that, just like all the wee fellas came in and stabbed me. So
I'll do level 36
that stage then.
Yeah,
you
we'll
pushed
get
up
you.
like level 36 after that.
Man, it's just the wee fellas that come in and get you. They get you good.
So, guys, we are going to bring this show to an end. What are you guys going to be playing this week, if anything? Are you streaming? Are you not streaming? Is there a little bit of a lull happening in the old streaming world? It is for me, anyway.
I haven't streamed in
I haven't streamed in a little bit. I was playing God of War, though, like off stream. I'm finished that now, so I don't know what my next adventure is.
We're talking a little bit about maybe doing a Bloodborne run, John.
Yeah. I still have to download it. I still have to download it.
Download it, and we'll do we're thinking of doing jump into a party, start from the start, help each other out with some of the bosses, just to kind of experience that game again. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So if anyone does want to jump in from the community, more than welcome.
2022 is going to happen. What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. Anyway.
So, where can the good folks find you, Mr. Toner?
You're going to find me NRC Buy and Play, NRC the Republic of Players. There's also another podcast here on a Tuesday night. Is that canon? We'll be talking about the last episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Check it out in the morning. It's on at 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when I watch it. Watch it with me. We'll watch it live. That's it. Thanks very much, guys.
Nice one. Aidan McCallion, where can the good folks find you?
My Twitter name's around me somewhere. You can follow me there.
It's a W.
Yeah.
I just posted the best Irish ad ever made, which is a Murphy's ad. It's all in anime style. We were talking about this earlier on, so if you just want to go find that.
Brilliant.
Nice.
Pat Curley, where can the good folks find you?
Well, you can usually find me around here. I do reviews. I haven't done one in a while because I'm a lazy bugger. But you can
Go
also...
to Ubisoft, Pat, quick.
We'll get you another good game.
Another long one.
No. You can also find me over on Twitter, Pat Got Mad. Oh Jesus, no. Valhalla was enough. And if you actually like my voice, you can head on over to Holographics, where I'm doing a live reading of ReZero Arc 5 there at the moment with a bunch of exceptionally talented voice actors. So, yeah, Get
Awesome.
over there and see us.
Well done. John Fogarty, where can the good folks find you?
The good folks can find me over at 20 for Gaming. That's TOOOLD for Gaming, all one word. You can find me over there at YouTube and Twitch, and for content. And if you want to get me on my socials, it's the same on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
How soft-spoken of you, John.
Thank you.
That's very nice.
So nice.
That's-
to listen to.
It's like
That was
ASMR.
amazing.
Speak to us, John.
Start an ASMR channel on Twitch. You'll make loads of money.
AMSR.
Yeah, rubbing the microphone and all that kind of weird stuff. Find me over on Twitch, the Alpha Fox TV, and also on the Republic of Players community. And yeah, we're going to be here next week, same time, same place. We will see everybody very, very soon. Thanks a million. Do hit the subscribe, do hit the like button, share us out. We need more people watching this show. We're coming up to the big one, the 100.
Yeah,
and
no, century.
we're very proud. So hope you're all keeping safe and well, and we'll catch you all next time. See you later, guys.
Yeah.